When we set up RAB, one of the first things that we did was have a repair service. People look to a RAB product, it does what it says it will do, and it performs and will last. All I knew was climbing and what climbers wanted.
We'd far rather that you reuse and repair rather than replace.
People really love their items that they've been using for years.
Which obviously brings back great memories of where they've been and what they've done.
You get so attached to these products in your clothing, and if you do snag your coat, we could help patch or repair that product.
The repair service is very important. Walk round the premises here and I see, washing machines going round.
Washing your down jacket is important, and it will give it kind of a new lease of life.
Machinists turning clothing inside out, repairing tears and things like that.
You go into the workshop and the sewing machines are whizzing away, and the seamstresses, their knowledge is incredible.
They also do stuff like cutting out the expedition suits and stitching all of those together on site.
You have to make the end user happy with a product. And the fact that RAB is able to offer a service that can feed into that and keep that legend going is great.
So go on our website, check out the form, give us some details, and we'll be in touch.
A very good morning and a warm welcome to Sheffield for the RAB CWIF 2019 semi-final round. I'm Mike Langley, and as ever joined by Gaz Parry. Gaz, great to have you here.
Thanks very much, Mike. It's great to be back in Sheffield this year again.
So we're live for the semi-final round. We have 20 men and 20 women who are going to be competing over 4 boulders, fighting out for a place.
Very strong UK climber. I mean, he's got a lot of potential to do some really good damage in this semi-final this weekend. And obviously we've got, for the ladies, we've got Stasha Gayho, European champion 2017, Molly Thompson-Smith, back from injury, on form again, and Michaela Tracy, second last year, 2018.
Well, let's not forget some superstars have come out of retirement for this CWIF event as well. Melissa Lenev, the 2017 winner, absolutely brilliant to see her back. But it's not all about the celebrities. There's lots of very strong climbers out there. So let's make our way over to the competition wall, and we'll take ourselves over to our commentary position to get this semi-final underway. So there you can see the start list and the wide shot of the famous Climbing Works competition wall. Coming out first in the women's competition, we're going to have Tara Hayes. Great to see Tara back from injury. And as always, guys, so many Brits, but a lot of internationals in there. A few coming out early as well. Martha Carpenter, and further down the list, 3 Austrians through to the semi-final round. Martia Pocci, great to see her through. And in the 10th position there, Molly Thompson-Smith. Great to see Molly climbing really well. A further 4 Brits come out after that before some of the really big hitters. Belgium Chloe Collier, great to see her back at CWIF once again. Hannah Slaney, European champion, coming out later on. Stasha Gayho, European champion. So great to see her. Bit of a wild card from the German team, Helene Wolf. not much known about her really at this stage.
No, but what an excellent performance by her, qualifying so high. Melissa Linev, obviously, she's going to be on for a win, I think, this season. But top in the qualification, Eva Maria Hemmermuller.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise for her to see her come through. She would admit that herself. Working through into the men's competition then, obviously a hugely stacked field. Coming out first, Dylan from the Swiss team. And Tommy Matthews, such a young climber, great to see. He seems to always scrape his way into the CWIF semi-final.
Yeah, for sure. He's certainly a very strong young lad. Alex Kazanov, a little bit disappointing coming into the semi-final, but I think he's going to have a lot to give when we get into these super hard competition semi-final boulders.
Yeah, and a couple of the big names were lower down in the qualification round there. Alexei Rupsov, would have expected to see him much further along in the field in the top spots. And Jan Hoyer from Team Germany down there, also European champion and superstar climber, coming out in 9th position. Kind of a few upsets really in the qualification round, and that seems to be the way sometimes here at CWIF.
Yeah, well, the style of the qualification is obviously the scramble, 30 boulders, lots of very technical style of climbing, and then switch to semi-final, we're going to get this steep, much more competition element.
Yeah, and on that, a few casualties along the way as well. Rustam Gelmanov didn't make it through, big upset there, not to see him through, but some of the big guns at the top there, Jim Pope, Aidan Roberts, Will Bosey, Nathan Phillips and Sean McCall, the legend, coming out third from last. Great to see Sean up there as well.
Yeah, and obviously flying the flag in the top 2 positions, we've got William Bosey and
Nathan Phillips up there as well. I mean, Nathan made the World Championship final back in Austria end of the year, and looks like we're underway. Here we are, first climbers out then for the CWIF semi-final round.
This is Dylan from the Swiss team, boulder number 1 for the men. We had a little look at the boulders earlier on, Michael, didn't we?
Yeah, really interesting tour here. It's going to be, I think in the women's competition, see Tara Hayes there for representing GB team. It's going to be an incredibly difficult tour for the women. I think the route setters have put kind of a really stern test for them. They think that number 1 on the left-hand side of the Climbing Works comp wall here is the easiest of the bunch, and then it gets really, really hard after that. And the men's tour, Gaz, really interesting. I think we could see a few tops today.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of tops in the men's. The women's, like you say, did look really hard, and the route setters said they have set a hard tour as well. But hopefully we're going to see quite an exciting semi-final from the men's perspective. Ladies, we'll just see what happens.
Well, I mean, it's all well and good sitting there, us sitting here watching, you guys at home. We can analyse the boulders, but realistically, until you can touch the holes and get a really good feel, it's quite impossible to say really what's going to go down. Sometimes we make predictions and they're completely wrong. Sometimes we nail it, but it's, I wouldn't want to be one of those guys out on the mat, let's put it that way.
Well, the one I'm looking forward to seeing is this female 3. We were looking at the starting position on that ladies' third boulder and just wondering how the blazes do you pull on that position? It looks super hard.
So we've got Dylan just on the right of centre there, and Tara on the left, just making their way through starting boulders. So, as always with the semi-final round, it's the people who qualified lowest from the qualification round. In theory, the stronger climbers coming later, but we have seen, like we said just a few minutes ago, a few upsets as we get an early top. Fantastic. Tara Hayes, a perfect start.
Nice start. A couple of goes that I think took Tara to get that boulder. Dylan, Swiss climber, still on boulder number 1. He's quite a young climber. He's 18 years old. He's been competing in the junior lead events. Not so much in the bouldering on the international, focusing on the lead events. Making quite nice progress now. The first part of the boulder. This second part of the boulder looks super hard now. Super compact. Probably going to suit some of the shorter climbers. Let's see what he can do. Got the zone hold. Here we go. Well, we're going to see a top.
Oh, really good start there from Dylan, but that crimp up there by where it says Climbing Works, we had a look at that, guys. It's absolutely grim.
Yeah, and it's also facing the wrong way. It's the shoulder. You're going to really have to pull on that toe to make the move to the final finishing hold, and it's not a jug. It just looks like the setters have been a little bit nasty there, put on a little bit of a slot.
What's it like then, Gaz? First climber out. You've been in this position, I suppose, over the years competing. Big crowd, semi-final round, super nervous. We were right next to the isolation zone, actually. We had a good chat with a lot of the climbers. And what's it like coming out in front of a big crowd early in the day? Quite cold out there. They must be nervous.
Early doors, I think, is very good because you've not got anything to lose. Obviously, if you've qualified 20th into a semi-final that only has 20 climbers in, you're not going to go any worse than 20th place. So basically, it's everything to go for.
Yeah, I guess that's something, you know, nothing to lose rather than everything to lose.
Absolutely.
You just see in the background over Dylan's head there, the clock counting down. It's 5 minutes for each rotation on these boulders. They have 4 boulders, 5 minutes on, and then they have a 5-minute rest period. Obviously, the aim of the game, if you're new to this sport, is to find as many tops of those 4 boulders as possible and get them in the least number of attempts. Attempts does count, and it can be very important. It certainly will become into effect in the scoring system later on as many more competitors start finding tops. So we get to focus on Dylan once more. You can see the zone hold out there on the left hand that he's focusing for. This is where he got to before, up to this razor blade right hand just higher up, and you can see for the first time really that block slot, and this is looking really good for Dylan.
Yeah, he's choosing to put the heel onto the right hand side there, and when we had a look at that boulder earlier on, it looked a little bit more like there was some toe rubber on the top hole, but Dylan's not one of the shorter climbers in this semi-final, so he's probably going to struggle to put that toe in. That might be why he's leading into the heel hook option.
If you do want to get in touch, guys, we'd love to hear from you. Use the hashtag CWIF 2019. That's just CWIF 2019. Always great to see everyone out there watching from around the world. Hopefully we've got some international guys watching as well. Just you can see Dylan having a quick check of the clock. You can see how bunched he is in that position, really struggling to get the heel. And you see when he's going for that crimp, he's still just arm and leg completely bent still. His 5-minute rotations up, and the next climbers out. In the women's, it's going to be Martha Carpenter for Germany.
And Tommy Matthews for Great Britain. Young Tommy, he'll be pretty pleased to make it through to the semi-final. I did some route setting with him for one of the YCS events last month. Very strong young lad, very psyched.
So Martha starts on the left-hand side of the comp wall, and this slab has caused a lot of issues over the years. Remember last year, men's semi-final started on this left-hand side of the slab, and it's a lot of tears. Interestingly, as you can see there, Martha, there is a small blue screw-on added to that fiberglass volume. She is opting to miss that and stand straight up. I think this is going to be a bit of a procession women's #1 for a lot of these top female athletes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite crucial to get the flash on this boulder.
23-year-old Martha looking really confident on there. She's not actually competed that much internationally, but I think she's really trying to use this comp as a bit of an acceleration to get out there in the IFSC World Cups. Let's have a look as she does jump for that last hold. She just wobbled off. There is a small thumb screw on that finishing hold.
Tommy Matthews making quite nice progress on boulder 1. Slightly different technique with the heels, rather than using that left direct that Dylan used. Quick move, yeah, into the zone now. That's good. Good progress. Let's see what he's doing now. Heel in, toe. Oh, he's gone straight for the finishing hold. Missed out that nasty crimp.
Wow, I think that surprised the route setters to say the least. That nasty crimp, like you say, Gaz, is exactly that. It's really grim. Tommy Matthews, really interestingly, just missed it. And I wonder if any of the other competitors are going to see that. Obviously, this is the first time that these guys have seen these boulders. They've not climbed on them before. Tommy Matthews is putting himself in a great position straight away there by seeing that trick.
Yeah, that was a super great start for Tommy. He'll be really happy with that. Obviously, he's got a lot of rest now as well before he moves on to the second boulder. Nicely
done from Martha Carpenter there, just using a little bit of an air flag on the left foot just to hold herself on the wall. Use that thumb catch wisely that the brush is just moving into there. Starting to see some tops already. Excellent.
Quick rotation. Time's up for those climbers, so we move on to next 2 climbers. We've got Mr. Consistent, Alex Kazanov out.
Yeah, let's have a really good chat with Alex Kazanov. You see him just down there, or you could just see him down there on the right-hand side in the down jacket. Really interesting to see Alex here. He is a World Cup winner now, Boulder World Cup winner from China last season, and man, did his performance accelerate from that point onwards. His confidence is bounding, and he's actually going to be taking on a lot of training for the overall this year, looking towards the Olympics in 2020, looking for that crucial one of 20 spots to get through to Tokyo. Big season ahead of these guys, and you know, realistically it is really early in the season for a lot of these people. Thinking Tokyo World Championships in August. Here we are in March. They've got a long way to go. So a lot of these competitors definitely aren't physically peaking right now. They're just using this as a bit of a leveler, see where they're at, see what they need to do training-wise, see what they need to tweak, and see how they're coming up against their fellow competitors. Someone like Alex, he's taking this seriously because it's a good, well-organised, fun comp with good route setting, but realistically, he probably isn't at the top of his game right now, and it'd be interesting to see where he's at.
I think I would tend to agree with you with that. I think it's really hard to stay fit for a really long season, and obviously these climbers have also got their eye on the Olympic year next year, and they've got to be very careful with what they choose to do this season. They can't compete at the highest level for the whole year. It's just not possible. It's not possible to train and make gains as well as that. So, they are going to be a little bit choosy, I think, about what they do in the World Cup season this year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to the federations and what they want as well. Certain federations are pumping money into those who are capable of climbing in 3 disciplines, and maybe some of the bigger federations, such as the Austrians, with a bit more funding, can sort of spread the money out a little bit more, spreading the funding and kind of concentrate on the individual disciplines as well as the overall. But a lot of countries have suffered from the fact that the overall has come in now, and certain athletes who are individual specialists might not get much of a look in this year, and that's going to be really interesting when the IFSC circuit starts in Meiringen, Switzerland for the Boulder World Cup, first week of April. I mean, we're in unprecedented territory right now.
Yeah, I think it's like a catch-22 situation as well for some of the federations. Obviously, the Olympics has meant that there is more funding for the federation, but then the funding has to be really directed towards the Olympic goals and the events that are going to be showcased there.
Alex Kazanov starts his campaign then from Israel. He's going to start on this tricky men's number 1 that we just saw Tommy Matthews skipping potentially the hardest move on. Tara Hayes moves down to women's number 2. That's the first time we've seen that.
We've got Dylan checking out men's number 2 as well for the first time. We're going to get a quick look at these problems. So a little bit more dynamic for these two, men and women.
Yeah. Rosalind Fruitneat there from Bristol starting on women's number 1. She did compete internationally last year, got a few lead and Boulder World Cups under her belt. Not really focusing on that this year, focusing on the rock instead. But great to see Ros competing once again. 25 years old, like I said, from Bristol. Let's see how she gets on with this slab. As the competition progresses, we will see climbers on all 4 boulders for men and women. We'll have 8 climbers on the wall at once. We'll do our very best to keep you up to date with who's doing what. Gets pretty hectic out there, especially at the climbing works. Really intense atmosphere. Crowd really close to the competitors.
That was pretty cheeky there. You see she almost took the fall off the volume there, but she's managed to get recomposed and get hold of that zone. Zone's in the bag. She just needs to focus on this little hop up and catch that thumb sprag on the finishing hold.
As we focus on Rod, you can see Alex Kazanov walking off there. Must have found a quick top on men's number 1. He can take the rest of his time to have a really good rest. Focus on Ross, just trying to load that foot now. Got to go slowly up to that top hold.
That was super close, wasn't it? A little bit too quick, I think. It's got to be a slow movement. Here we are on men's 2. Oh, not on men's 2. Dylan just steps off the boulder. This is a really cool little dynamic 1-2-3 or 1-2, depending on which way the climbers choose to do it. We had a look at this earlier on as well, and it's actually quite a blind boulder. When you see it on the screen, you see the starting position in the groove, and you see the big hold. That's the one.
Yeah,
he went for
nice.
the left-right option. It's also been done as a right-left-right option as well. Interesting to see which becomes the most popular method.
Yeah, interesting that both men's and women's boulder number 2s are quite dynamic, so it gets quite lively in the middle of the competition for these guys. They certainly lose a bit of skin. From that position, you can see the right hand that Dylan's hitting there, but from where he starts, you can't see the right hand jug at all.
Yeah, it comes into your vision very late. Does that hold with the right hand? It's not a jug though, Michael. It's definitely not a jug. Let's see if we can see how Tara... Oh, Rosalind's back on over on female 1. Let's hope she can maintain a little bit more control for this last move. So just go quite slowly, I think, to this finishing hold.
Yeah, she's obviously been up there once and learned a lot, but let's see what she can do just pushing towards this finish hold this time. You can see she's really nervously pushing on that right foot. She's got to commit to the finish hold whilst going slowly, which is never easy. It's obviously not much up there for the fingertips. Tara Hayes still looking. This women's number 2, really interesting. A little flip to those dual texture blocks volumes, and we're thinking that they're going to catch a toe as they hit it. It's such a bad pair of slopey volumes.
Yeah, we've not actually seen Tara's attempts on this yet, so looking forward to seeing her get on to female 2. Tara, it's quite good that Tara's made it into the semi-final this weekend. She's been out of competition with an injury. We're back in the zone really for climbing movement, but it's great that she is in the semi-final though.
So I'm going to have a look at this jump then. Burning a lot of temps here, Dylan, and getting further away from that move at the moment. Like I said, we've got a very long way to go in this competition, 20 men and 20 women to get through to just 6 places in the final. So realistically, if we started seeing a lot of tops at this stage, the route setters would have a bit of a problem on their hands unless there was a big upset on the cards. But that's the game at the moment, so we'll just work our way through the list. And I reckon we're starting to see more and more tops as we go on.
I think it's not just attempts on that block too, Michael. I think there's also going to be an issue with the skin. You take quite a lot of goes on that and you're sliding off that very new volume from Axis, then you're going to lose a lot of skin, which is going to impact later on boulder 3, boulder 4. Rosalind just lining up this last move again. Doesn't seem happy with that right foot. A bit slower, hopefully.
Opted for the one hand this time. She's going to have to come up with something new here. She's going to run out of time. Remember, guys, if you do want to get in touch, let us know. Hashtag CWIF 2019. As Tara really suffering on the skin there already. Just looking up and finding nothing at all.
And that's the buzzer. All change again. So we're going to see 2 new climbers out. Kelly and Harker, UK's most popular and strongest bouldering father. For Austria, for the ladies, we've got Laura Stockler. And here we are with Tommy Matthews. We're going to get another look at men's 2. Tommy can definitely jump from having set with him last month. I know he's quite good with the dynamic movement, so hopefully we'll see something there. This is our first view of Laura on female 1.
Yeah, not looking quite as confident standing up there. That may be a nerves thing, or maybe she's just taking her time to find the right position there. We do think that this boulder will get quite a lot of tops, so attempts may be crucial. Remember, it comes down to the number of tops first to decide the standings, then the number of zone holds, which she's currently got with her left hand. Then, if there's a tie after that, comes down to the attempts to the tops, and if there's still a tie, attempts to zones. A 4-way scoring system that we'll do our best to talk you through as the results are coming in. So we focus once again on Tommy Matthews, men's number 2. Yeah, going for the 1-2-3 method there, Gaz, but not really finding much success.
Yeah, I think there's probably that left hand and then go straight around the corner for the good pinch. It's probably going to be the method. That 1-2-3, it just looks like his body's coming away from the wall too quickly.
Great to see what we believe is the only dad in the competition today. Kalian Harker there, starting his campaign on men's number 1. Kalian's super psyched to get through the qualification round. That style of qualification boulders really suits his technical ability. And yeah, we're really joking with him in the isolation zone, saying that he's pretty sure he's the only dad out there, and super psyched to make it through, but a bit nervous with so many big guns surrounding him in the isolation warm-up zone.
This is a great angle on men's 2 with Tommy trying the left-hand, right-hand method then. Looks a little bit closer to getting into that right-hand hold. Tommy taking a sit down, a little bit of a breather. These dynamic boulders do actually take it out of you. Alien getting sight again. It's already had a go.
Just see Martha Carpetta there, just trying to find that toe catch. It's going to be crucial on those dual texture block volumes.
Lara back on problem 1. She can go a little bit more controlled this time.
Good to see these 3 Austrian women through to the semi-final round. And nearly finding a top, nearly to the top there. Just wobbled off, as we've seen with Rosalind Fruitney just before that as well. Yeah, their coach, Elliot Howard, British coach, has brought them over here to the UK to compete at the CWIF for a bit of pre-season training.
So trying the cheat method maybe on female 2 there. Don't think that's going to work. That right hand that she's going up to there is really, really slopey. There's nothing really to pull on with that right hand, and not really much of a heel hook either that she was trying to get in there. Tommy's back on again, men's 2.
Yeah, opting for a slightly different sequence there. The roll over with the left hand and the stab to the jug with the right. Same result, unfortunately. It's back on the mats. Just working our way up these Enigma volumes as the brand there. You can see the logo just down on the right hand side. And looks like she's trying to put her foot in the screw hole on the top of that volume. Just find a little divot where the screw attaches to try and go slowly up to that top finishing hold with the thumb catch. Really not confident on that foot at all. You can see they're really pumping it. As you can hear the beep in the background, that's 1 minute remaining. Kaylin also back on the mats, really struggling with that first move.
Tommy looking at his hands already, that doesn't bode well. Looking at his skin, like I said, this type of movement on these large fiberglass volumes, if you're sliding around on them, it's going to eat that skin really quickly, especially after yesterday, 30 boulders. There's a lot of climbing done already, but we've still got a long way to go as well.
Yeah, we have seen some tops already though, so I think there's going to be a few surprises here. We do see this sometimes with the semi-final round. We see people coming out early, finding quick tops, makes the route setters nervous, us start to question what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden everything starts to slow down in terms of the number of tops. So yeah, it's really hard to predict these things.
Laura back on, problem 1. That was really close,
really close. Yeah.
She needs to get back on. Has she got enough time? No, I think that's it. We're on to the rotation.
Kazanov's going to move on to this jump on men's number 2. Then Alex really looking for the win here this weekend. Tara Hayes moves on to women's number 3 that we had a look at and thought was one of the hardest of the tour. Very hard women's tour all the way through. And one of the superstars of the competition, Alexei Rupsov, on men's number 1. We've just seen Kaylin really struggling to get off the ground on that. Let's see what one of the most consistent World Cup competitors in the world ever, Alexei Rupsov, can do on it. Let's see if he can put on a show for us.
Kazanov pulls on. I'm really interested to see him on this. Obviously this is something we'd expect to see a level of his to get up.
Tara Hayes there just slapping the thighs a little bit, looking a bit
great shots here,
unimpressed.
great angle. That was very close from Alex. First view of men's 3. Dylan over on the right hand side of the wall, 360 boulder. This was set by our female setter this weekend, Katja Vidmar. Great to have her here this weekend, getting involved with these boulders.
So this is the view you'll see throughout the competition really, as Kazanov gets really close. The scores will be up on that left hand side. You can see as we go through the rankings, all live, that will be up to date. Tommy Matthews at the top there with his quick top, along with Martha Carpetta. Green for a top, number of attempts it took in the box.
That was like we discussed, Michael, at the start with the left heel. Seems to be the way. Managed to get some weight over the foot. Back on boulder 3. No, Dylan's back on the mat again.
Here we go with Kazanov then. He has secured that zone hold now, sticks the dyno and works his way through these top Watar pinches. Big slippery jaw texture holds. So much power needed here. Let's see if Kazanov can get an early top. Oh, such control. Makes it look easy really with the right heel. Just struggling in the match a little bit. Gets it done. Kazanov with an early hard top in the bag. Puts him right up top there. You can see top M2 on the scorecard. 2 tops out of potential 4 for him already.
It's a good start for Alex. Definitely what we expect, I think, in this semi-final when we switch the styles up from the vertical technical tour that we see in the qualification.
Yeah, speaking to him in the isolation zone, he was, well, he got so close to getting knocked out of the qualification round by not anybody, Gaz, but nearly got knocked out by you. That would have been awkward.
I don't think it was any risk than that, yeah.
But he was close.
He was safe.
He was close to not getting through, and he really, you know, he's happy to get on some steep stuff and start pulling on some holds rather than quivering around on some slabs. There is a lot of the CWIF qualification tour here. Good attempt. We did just see there on the left-hand side of the slab from Jennifer Wood. Always great to see Jennifer competing, always looking strong, so consistent. Let's have a look at the start of women's number 3. It's really interesting. Up with the left hand, a little flip with the right, and then a big move up to the zone volume. Opting to crimp the left hand rather than using the pinch, but just dragging off.
Pretty close to going to that zone, but it just looks like she needs to engage the thumb. Dylan over on the right-hand side, doing the dynamic move into the 2 big
slopey balls.
Big slopey balls, yeah, they are super hard to hold up, and that section of the wall is really, really steep.
Yeah, QWIFs have been won and lost on that right-hand side, and this is a real power problem. And I think, well, it's going to be interesting with Alexei and Alex Kazanov coming towards that boulder quite soon. If we start to see some early tops. And what's going to be interesting in this men's competition with such well-medalled competitive climbers such as Kazanov and Rupsov coming out early is, does that put the pressure on some of the Brits later on who are coming out, who are qualified really well? But they know they're going to start seeing some tops from these big guys, and they've got a lot of work to do later on, such as David Barons, Nathan Phillips, Will Bosey, people like that, guys. It's going to be interesting.
It is, and I think there's a bit of a different feeling this year because the isolation is in a different section of the wall as well, so the late climbers are going to really have no feedback from the crowd this year, so they won't really know what the likes of Kazanov has done when they're coming out to this event.
Jennifer Woods so close again, just on that top hold. Seems to be a bit of a theme there, dragging it and just missing the match. As Tara Hayes having absolutely no luck on that one whatsoever. As hard as we fought, but this is the semi-final round, usually the hardest round of the event. So what Kaylee and Harker can do on men's number 2.
Brusher's doing a little bit of action there. Kalian's got the brush in hand himself. It's quite a nice boulder, this boulder 2 for the men. It's a good looking boulder on these axis volumes. Just to see how his dynamic game is. Laura onto the female 2.
Yeah, let's see what the Austrian can make of this female 2. Opting to wear the Austrian team kit rather than the QWIF vest.
True professional.
Nice.
That was very close, I think.
Yeah, you could start to see she was hanging the right leg out there to try and find that toe hook. It was quite far away from actually getting it, but the idea was there as Pippa Watkin moves on to the slab. Pippa Watkin really consistent on these style of boulders.
Yeah, 17-year-old Pippa. It's a great result for her already to get into the semi-final. She'll be loving the opportunity to climb here and perform here in front of the Sheffield crowd. This is classic slab QWIF, left-hand side of this QWIF competition wall.
Well,
good first go.
Yeah, well, good first go, but we've seen a lot of climbers get to that position and not find a top. Only Martha Carpetta really having much luck on that top set of volumes at all.
Yeah, with 7 climbers in on that boulder, and like you say, only 1 top at the moment, and we expected a few more. Tommy is telling himself how to get hold of that left-hand ball. Instead of with the palm, just go for the wrap. We'll see what he does next go. Over on boulder 1, we've got Michael Nievanhausen. He's the tallest competitor at this event. A little bit taller than Jan Hoyer, or a little bit more reach. Both about the same height, but I think Michael's got a little bit more reach. Can't see boulder 1 suiting him too well. That's brilliant work by Laura on ladies 1. She's caught the toe hook straight into the zone hold.
Back to Pippa on the left-hand side. She seems to be just hanging out there, not really too interested in committing to this top hold. Really hard to, when you're in such a comfortable position, to leave it to go into a really secure, insecure move like that.
Honolding, I think we call it.
Honolding.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
just
turn around
was
for
just
that.
Chilling on the ledge there, yeah.
Desperate start to women's freak. As we were saying it earlier, just looks impossible to pull on.
That's the first view we've had of Kaylee on the men's 2. He's hitting that hold after the first big volume. It's totally blind, that right-hand hold. It's not that great, but Looks pretty close. Still a bit more time. We've got another 1 minute 49 seconds left, so we've still got plenty of time.
Oh, I felt the skin going from here on that one. The slow drag across the ball.
I think Tommy's going to have some red tips by the end of this semi-final.
Laura Stockler back on female 2. She has done that move.
Come on, Pippa. Oh, it's closer and closer every time. That's what you've got to learn, to slow that move down. I think that's the key for that slab move.
I think so. Where we saw Martha do it, she really, like you said, hit that top hold and then used the left leg to find some sort of balance position, sort of flagging the left leg as she went for the move. And it's really about getting that body position over to the right and standing up strong on the right leg. But easier said than done with such a bad volume to stand up off.
Close in now with Kaelian. He lines up for this jump. Great view here. That looked a lot better. He seems to be going quite slow there as well. Giving himself time to see that blind hold catch. Michael's back on block 1 on the left-hand side. Bit of action on block 3. Really struggling with that first move. That's such a hard start to that boulder.
So
seen
slow,
it done though.
Yeah, we have seen it done. Kaylin, on the other hand, not getting it done, unfortunately. Men's number 2. 10 seconds left. Looks like they're going to be bowing out. Live to fight another boulder. He may have struggled, but he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's certainly going to enjoy himself today. He's really pleased to get through to that semi-final.
Yeah, he's got a break from babysitting. That's why he's enjoying himself.
Weekend off. Yeah. Big guns now on boulder 2, boulder 3 for the men. Kazanov, Rubtsov. See what Kazanov makes of the black boulder on the right hand side.
Yeah, we are moving left to right here on the Climbing Works competition wall as Kazanov smashes that first move. The zone hold is up next. It's not a great hold. It's be really interesting to see what Kazanov can make of this and put himself in a great position here. He's already at the top of the leaderboard with 2 tops. Hits and secures the zone hold.
That's the hard move, I think.
Can he finish this one off? Put himself in a position for surely a finals here. One more move to the top hole for Alex Kazanov. You can see his arms shaking, his cheeks are puffing. Can he hold the rotation? Just got to get the feet back on. Double rotation for the left foot and somehow secures it. What an awesome effort that was from Alex Kazanov. The perfect start for him with a flash on men's number 3.
I'll be interested to see how many flashes we get on that boulder. That is, I think, going to be one of the hardest boulders. But after that, we're going to move on to a vertical wall on the right hand side as their last men's boulder, and that can be a winner or a loser on that style of climbing.
Yeah, definitely, but surely with the top of that he's got himself a finals position. Obviously it's so early to tell, but just looking at the calibre of climber at the moment, let's have another look back at Kazanov on that top move. This was insane. The double rotation on the left leg hits the sponsor signs a couple of times, and the massive power scream celebration to win. That was a good show of strength there from Kazanov, and apparently he's not on form at the moment.
I wish I was not on form that much.
Alexei Rubtsov gets it down the 1-2 on men's number 2. Looks like the better climbers are not having too many issues. As soon as I say that, he falls off.
Yeah, he's already been to that place. This is our first view of men's 4. Dylan making some good progress there. He's managed to locate the zone.
Only 3 climbers to find a top out of 7 at the moment on men's number 1. Tommy Matthews, Alexei and Alex Kazanov. So Tommy Matthews early top on that has put himself in a great position.
Our first view of Orin over the left hand side here. Zone controlled.
Opting for that crimp method and a little move around the corner. It looks like he's having a quick look around the corner to see if he can go again, and he does.
Yeah, did you see that? The little flick with the right foot from the heel to the toe catch. That just allowed him to lean out around the corner.
Really good route reading from Orin, and good thinking going again with the right hand as we look at Tara Hayes on an absolutely savage looking women's number 4. Big powerful pitches, super steep section of wall.
Yeah, the move off that zone, I think, is one of the hardest moves on that boulder. But she's got the zone in the bank, so it could be important for placings later on.
Ros Fruitney there on women's number 3, really not being able to control that first axis, slopey volume to start.
This is our first view for the start of men's 4. Really tenuous vertical boulder over the right-hand side of the comp wall.
We can really see here at the comp wall, the climbing works, that you've got all of the styles, so each climber has to go through. They've got to have a really rounded set of tricks to be able to get through successfully through this round and find a position for the finals. Not only is it super powerful dynos, and it's really technical as well. As Jennifer Woods looking really good here on women's number 2, looking for that flip on the left hand. That's the method. Hit the zone, flip the left, and work your way to the top couple of pinches. Dylan has been up this position already. Terrible little holes there.
And another top for Alexi. Great work, he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, burnt quite a few attempts. I think it was 6 or 7 it took him in the end. It was 6. You can see there on the live scoreboard on the left-hand side. It's getting really exciting already, Gaz. I'm loving this already.
Yeah, 34 seconds. We've got Jen Wood back on. Sadly not catching that toe hook again to give her a chance on the top of the block. Probably still some time.
Tara just fighting through this really steep section. What is that up there? It's going to be at least 45 degrees. Section of 3 pinches before the top. So much power required.
That's it, Jen walks away.
I think she'll be a bit upset that she's fallen off high there. That's the game though, such small margins when you've only got 4 boulders to separate 20 climbers. Difference between a finals and finishing right down on the list can be simple as 1 or 2 moves.
Climbers just taking a few minutes to check the boulders out, see what they've got to do. This is the first time they've seen the blocks, obviously, when they come out in the semi-final. So quick run through, get themselves a sequence.
Dad's on tour. Kalian works his way down to men's number 3.
It's definitely not his speciality. This is no slab. Steep and physical. Laura.
Let's have a really good look at this green start and see what she can make of these slopey volumes. It really seems to be about a body position in the feet, just to be able to even take the right foot off of the floor. So Kaylee's not exactly looking out of shape there. A lot of power in the bag.
Yeah, he looked pretty solid onto that first ball. He needs to go 1-2 though. You see when we saw Kazanov do that move, he just committed instantly to it. No messing around. You're not going to be able to hang out and work out what's going on there. You've just got to go for it. Laura back on.
You can see
green boulder.
She's using the left toe at the moment. We have seen some success with people using a left heel just to drop the weight over the left knee a little bit to try and get that right foot off the ground.
This actually could be a really hard starting position for Laura. I was chatting to her earlier on. You can see she's got some protection on her left knee. She injured that knee training when she pulled a campus rung off the wall. Hanging off a campus rung with 25 kilos on a weight vest. She ripped the rung off the wall and landed really badly and hurt that knee. So that compressed position that she's got that left leg in, she might be really struggling with that one.
She is going to try that knee now. Like you say, Gaz, she's probably thinking of the season ahead rather than this boulder right now. She's got to be really careful here.
It just looks like she can't load the leg there in that position. Don't think there's any other method to making it up there.
Martha having a look at this women's number 4, the final boulder of her tour. She's up there in 3rd place at the moment, but that's surely going to change. Remember, it's 6 climbers out of this 20 that we're going to go through for tonight's final. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you are out there watching, let us know. Hashtag CWIF 2019. Love to hear from you. Where you're watching from, which boulders you're enjoying, who's your favourite.
First view of Billy Rydell on the men's number 1.
One of the bigger climbers in the men's competition, but really well rounded technically. Struggling like anything on that first hold though, unfortunately.
Martha again, hard move into this zone.
Big rollover. Big powerful rollover to a slopey pinch.
Not a good one. This is something that men's 2, maybe it's something I'd have expected Michael to do pretty well on. He's a big guy, he can definitely jump. It's not a long way for him.
Tommy Matthews currently up there in 3rd position, which would secure him a place in the finals, but a lot of climbers still to come. But that early top, like we said earlier, is doing him no harm whatsoever. This men's number 4, I have to say, looks absolutely grim.
Yeah, those volumes from blocks are pretty slopey on that left-hand side, and the manufacturers have been pretty clever as well. They've not put any screw holes on the left-hand side of those volumes, so there's no cheat method on it.
Billy having a bit of a disaster there on men's number 1, shaking the head, not impressed with that starting position at all.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be able to make any progress out to that undercut with the left hand. Really strange body position he's finding himself in there. Tommy's got a smile on his face, that's good to see.
Yeah, why not? Sitting in 3rd position at the moment in the
Yeah.
semi-final round of the CWIF.
That'll be good for him to get some a top on this last boulder. That would definitely set him up really well. Who knows what can happen after that? Let's just wait for everyone else to fall off, hopefully.
Yeah, tread on their fingers maybe.
I don't think that's allowed. Not too sure what he's holding with that right hand, because it's definitely not a very big screw on at the top of that volume.
It's a 1 screw on, that's how small it is, just a tiny 1 screw holding it on. Desperate technical climb, looks like, with 10 seconds left. He's going to call it a day. That's the end of his round, so he just has to wait now for the next 10 or so climbers to make their way through the semi-final round. 5 minutes rotation starts. Big man Jan Hoyer from Germany starts his campaign out on the left-hand side, current European champion and one of the most famous climbers in the competition scene right now, I would say, Gaz.
Yeah, he's and such a nice guy as well. He's a great person to be around, spend time with, and just generally have a chit-chat with. He's a good guy.
Strong as hell.
See him quite a lot in the CWIF, and we see him quite a lot in Sheffield as well, so it's almost his local wall.
Yeah, it's good to see him training here in Sheffield quite a lot. He says the training here is really good. It's good for him to kind of get on this style of boulders and climb with lots of strong Brits. So Alex Kazanov just trying to find the starting position there.
Yeah, it's a really uncomfortable position to try and get this left hand on the hold. He was just brushing at the top. You start with the right hand low and bring that left hand over. Alexi on boulder number 3 for the men. Pretty solid through that first jump section. Zone now, let's see what he can do. Big move, go again. That was the move that I think is one of the hardest moves. Come on, Alexi. Yes, good and solid there. He'll be happy with that one. Top on men's 3.
Hit that top hole with a slightly more bent arm than Alex Kazanov, which means he didn't have the big rotation. Quickly got the right hand to join the left for an easy top for Alexi. I think it's safe to say he's looking as much form as you would expect over the last few seasons with him in the IFSC Tour, always making finals, and Alexi is surely on for a podium at least here this weekend.
Jem Wood struggling with that female 3. It's the first time we've seen left hand side of the wall again for a while.
Yeah, Mattia
Last
Pertzi
move still being a bit of a problem.
still causing people problems. Yeah, the left-hand slab, we've said it already a few times. Nightmare territory. Kazanov then, can he pretty much guarantee himself a position in the finals with a 4th top? Gets that nice little windmill roll over to the left-hand zone volume sorted. Now he's just got to wobble his way up this top section. And we've not really seen anybody on it yet, so it's hard to know exactly what's in store.
But once he gets onto those top eggs, he'll be finding a little bit more comfortable. Just getting through this zone volume section is very hard.
Still climbers on the left-hand side there, really struggling to find the right leg position. It's quite interesting, that women's number 1, because as they push towards the top, it's actually quite a long way. And I think the heel lifts, which you never want to happen on a slab, and you sort of just end up being really stretched on a thumb catch, and I think that's where the problems are coming into it.
With the barn door as well, that thumb catch is bad, and that left foot swinging out, it's going to be hard to hold.
Yeah.
Kazanov still looking for that 4th top. It's back on again and off.
Really interesting starting position. Just got to tap that right foot. Remember, the hands need to be in control, but the feet can just tap. That's an official starting position. Judges will be looking very closely at that. Opts to miss the little left hand long flat hold down there on the left at the moment. Go straight up to the zone. Now some extreme walking required on this boulder.
This is very, very tenuous, this section of the wall. Really struggling to get to that little screw on the top of the volume. Tommy managed to make it up there a few times, but couldn't progress any further. We've seen one person on the next leg, and that's about the highest point yet.
Rosden secures that big rollover. This is looking pretty good here. Secures the zone. Opting for the right heel to try and find the right body position, but I think that's going to be really just front-on power pinching up there.
Jem Wood stepping in for number 3. We're back on the right-hand side though with Alex again, looking for that 4th top. See how many goes he's already had on this boulder.
Yeah, starting to get pretty frustrated with that, I think.
Big numbers. 28 seconds to go. Close for Jen there on that zone.
Looks like we have had a top on women's number 1 again. From the Austrian, Mattia Perzi. Starting to see a few more tops now coming into the round. Kazanov getting nowhere. I think there might be a bit of a theme on men's number 4.
He's getting a little bit frustrated there now, I think. That's it. Buzzer goes. That's the end of Kazanov's tour. I think he'll be pretty happy with that. 3 tops.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty confident he's going to be through with that. I think he's obviously going to know, with so much experience being a World Cup winner, if that's going to be enough. Interesting to get a bit of a read off him at some point throughout this semi-final round. Has he done enough? But surely with 3 tops along with Alexei Rubtsov, that's enough. No one's anywhere near that at the moment. This is one of his best efforts. Just using that left toe hook. You can see on that left-hand side, there's just really nothing there.
Oh no, Hamish hasn't filled out a questionnaire. Oh Hamish, I don't know a thing about.
So left-hand side, men's 1, we've got youngest male competitor, 16-year-old Hamish MacArthur. Pretty experienced already, but Michael going really well on the boulder number 3 for the men. Absolutely cruised that.
I crushed it. Absolutely obliterated
Where
that
did
one.
he bring that one from?
One of the favourites for tonight. So good to see this young lady back. Molly Thompson-Smith starts her campaign on the left-hand side on what she would probably describe as one of her weakest areas, slab climbing. Again, looking really stretched on women's number 1.
Yeah, Molly's one of the shorter climbers in the female category, and she did look very short on that boulder.
Yeah, but she's looking phenomenally strong at the moment. Supported by the Sky Scholars scheme. Great to see Molly just pushing on and on and on with her international results. Made podiums internationally now in the lead and starting to focus on the overall and getting really into the bouldering.
Yeah, it's great to see her back in the game after the injury she sustained. A lot of time out, a lot of rehab. Went into getting that finger sorted again, but she's looking very strong, probably stronger than ever. So we'll see how she goes this season.
Laura Stuckler there just having a good, pretty decent attempt. The second of those 3 fiberglass pinches.
Yeah, I think that's the first one lady to touch that next hold with any control. Looked pretty good. You've got to have a strong pinch to hold that one. Molly back on board on block 1. Certainly didn't look like she was enjoying herself on this the first go. Let's hope this one's a little bit better.
It's a required taste that not many people have, this sort of slab climbing. You either love it or you hate it, I think. It's a Marmite sort of style, I would say.
Marmite slab.
You can see how sloping that volume is. No wonder they're really struggling. That's why a lot of them are looking for that screw hole. You can see Molly just dialing her right toe into it a little bit there. A lot of time on those volumes, you really want to be standing right on the nose of them to make the wall as slabby as possible, but obviously that volume slopes away too much for that to be an option. Laura Stuckler looking good, gets a good match on here, but you can see how sloping that is and how steep the wall is.
Let's see what she does to come off this zone. Working the feet out.
Good body tension there. She's better work the feet. Looks like she's having a look right hand side or left hand side, can't quite decide. Sticks the left hand pinch, secures the right. This is looking really good for now for Laura Stockler. Can she find a top on women's number 4? And does. Nicely done.
Good effort from Laura there. It's the first top on female 4. She'll be really happy with that. A good way to finish the semi-final for her.
The way that she was just looking left, right at those 2 pinches, you knew that she was going to move really fast between them. That was a really good effort. Showing some class there for Laura. Does go to the top of the leaderboard with the number of zones that she has and attempts to those tops. Just top, I should say, not tops. 1 top. Will it be enough? Got a long way to go.
Molly back on boulder number 1. She's definitely struggling to stand on this volume with the right foot. She's having to stand really high on it and just looking way too short to go to that thumb sprag.
You wouldn't have thought it'd be a height issue overall, though, would you guys? The route setters so experienced here. You think, yeah, it may be a slightly long move, but I don't think they would have set a move. Well, they wouldn't have set a move. That's just a reach.
No, for sure. I mean, but it's always going to be that's such a basic boulder. There's only a few movements on that slab boulder. It's always going to be a little bit of an issue with standing on that volume and going that distance, that full stretch, that finishing hold.
Eugenie Lee on women's number 2. First time we've seen her really in action.
Now this is where I'd really like to see a top from Kaylee, and this is more his style.
Has obviously secured the zone there, as probably one of the finest slab climbers in this semi-final tour. It'll be interesting to see if he makes anything of that, which he doesn't, because he's walking off with 5 seconds left, and Molly's going to run out of time here as well. Only 5 minutes to play with, and she has a run out of time. That's going to be disappointing for Molly, I think, as it is for a lot of those females coming out on women's number 1. We have had 5 tops, though. It's actually the Austrians are looking really good on that one at the moment. Emily Phillips starts her campaign, just rubs shoulders with Molly there on the way past.
17-year-old Emily.
Yeah.
Had a very good few events in the last few years. She's performed really, really well. She's definitely a very rounded climber. She's good on the steep, good on the roots, good on the slabby boulders as well. So let's see what she'll make of this quite nasty start to the women's tour for this semi-final at the CWIF.
Jennifer Wood holding that as a pure sloper at the moment there. You can see the right hand thumb just engaging underneath. So much power needed there. That's a sort of boulder you're either strong enough or you're not, I think. There's no tricks to it. Emily Phillips absolutely cruised it.
That was nifty, that little foot swap as well, just to stop that barn door that all the girls seem to have been suffering from.
Yeah, that was really good. Just the way that she just sort of listened to her body and did exactly what her body wanted to do, not what her head wanted to do, and just quickly skip the feet across and hold the position. There was no one more surprised than her, I think, at the top there, just to stick that position. Down the wall, Oren Coley on the far right-hand side, and the big man Jan Hoyer on the jump in the middle. So I'm going to have a look at this top from Emily then. Hits the double thumb catch with both hands really well, and then just really quickly skips across, ends up on the left foot and the right foot flagging out. That's a new method that we've seen on that one. Really nice.
And this should be right up Jan Street, we would expect. Yeah, nailed the jump. Pretty solid through there now. Zone. Into the big pinches now, a bit of burl. I think he should be okay on this section. He's a big lad. Top hold. 2 hands.
No issue too. I think some of those well-known climbers like we're talking about, Jan Hoyer, Alexei Rupsov, Alex Kazanov, really showing their international class at the moment. A bit of a step above the rest as we speak. We've got a lot of young British climbers still to come though.
Yeah, and young climbers that have done well in the qualification, so, you know, hopefully they can up the game. Boulder 2 for the female. That flip move is quite hard. You get the zone and you get to flip the left hand, catch the undercut, stand up and get into a bit of burl.
Power screams from Oren Coley. That's what he's known for. Hits that with one hand rather than going for the 1-2. This is nice from Oren. Hardest move still to come now though. Hits the zone and controls it. He'll be given that.
This is a big move now. Come on, Oren. Oh, he's very close. Just didn't manage to keep that foot on.
I think we're going to see a number of tops there actually on men's number 3. I would say, Gaz, so far kind of what we expected in the men's competition. A number of tops coming, and I think a lot of tops coming later on. It's going to come down to the number of attempts.
Yeah, ladies a little bit slower, but we've still got some great action. Back on female 4 here, Jen Wood. This match I think is quite important. Didn't manage to keep the heel there. Body came out, pulled the heel off.
That's where we saw Lara Stockler just looking left and right really quickly just to see which one to go for first. You've got to move quick on that style of pinch up that in that angle. Alexei Rubtsov not having a good time up there at all.
Definitely a
You have to
challenge.
come up
that
with
men's
a name for that boulder, I think.
The setters will have one, I'm sure. We just need to go and ask the setters. They'll have some strange name for that boulder on the right-hand side.
CWIF Utley on women's number 3 there. Shake of the head. Can't find a position to get off the ground. It's really frustrating when that happens.
Come on, Mr.
Zone, this flip move again. Trying to get some technique, trying to get the toe up with that left foot, but it's a basic fast move, I think.
Really power into that undercut, really, like you say, Gaz, quite basically stand up and hammer it into the undercut.
Yeah, I think, like you say, that standing up into it is going to be quite crucial. Getting high on the undercut. Alexei, over on the right-hand side. It's 4. Do the start manoeuvre quite steadily. This is where it gets a little bit more tasty on the zone. Really hard to maintain the balance there.
Mattia Percy back into it this time. Can she stand up into that undercut? She's just looking around to see what to do. No clue up there at the moment.
Looking at the go again move, but I think that's not really an option.
Absolutely awesome to see the Austrian team here. Hello to everybody watching over there in Austria. Great to have you with us. Thanks for sending so much great talent over here to Sheffield. Do get in touch with us. Hashtag CWIF 2019. Love to hear from you.
Time's up. Change over again. New climbers on the mat. Molly moves on to the unclimbed female 2. Be interesting to see her on this boulder. A little bit more power.
Yeah, she's got some work to do now.
Yeah, she's got some work, but I think this could actually suit her quite well. She's very strong. We've seen her on the campus in quite a lot recently. She's certainly got some serious power in those arms.
Interestingly, she's gone up with the left hand and the match there, statically matched, whereas the others have gone rolled over the right hand and flicked up to that next set of volumes with the toe catch. If Molly will have a little bit of a rethink there. Max the Future Milne, as his nickname is on men's number 1.
Yeah, Max
Super
has
strong
come on
on
really well in the last few years, looking very strong in the last couple of seasons.
Molly does go up with the right hand that time and hit the left and try and hit the toe, so she's got the method down now. Let's have a good look then at Max on men's number 1. Lots of climbers all of a sudden starting really struggling on men's number 1.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen anyone try and put that left foot up to go to that zone on men's number 1. I'm guessing he didn't think he could reach off the lower foothold, but maybe his height, maybe a mistake. Molly back on, female 2. Normal method now, flick. Very close there. So it's slow on that move, just needs to make sure that she catches that toe with the right foot. Eugenie making good progress. Female 3. Not seen many ladies too high on that boulder yet.
Yeah, out of shot as well. There's been a quick top on women's number 1 from Holly Tootill, the young Brit.
Holly Tootill's come on really well the last few years. It's a great start for Holly, 17-year-old.
Hamish MacArthur in the men's actually looking strong after the dyno, just trying to figure out the method here. He's been going left and right a couple of times, using up a lot of power.
Yeah, I was really struggling to stand on that really bad foothold, but he's in now on the zone. Back down again.
Drops down.
A little bit of campus training, why not?
His feet really skidding on that.
Yeah.
As Molly hits high into this next move, this is looking really good. Not seen anybody secure that undercut on the left hand. Can Molly Thompson-Smith be the first person to find a top here on women's number 2? Good support here for Molly. Absolutely
Yes,
no
one
issues
hand.
in the end. Nicely
2.
done.
Solid.
Yeah, you called it, Gaz. You said that would suit her. Certainly did. 2 or 3 attempts in the end there for Molly. 4 attempts.
Puts her up into 4th place at the moment in this semi-final, the Rab CWIF.
I think Molly will be disappointed in many ways if she doesn't get through to the finals here today. I think she's really kind of after a top result to start the season in the bouldering, try and get her overall competition game well underway.
Yeah, especially as she's normally a lead climber in the event, but she needs to up the game in the bouldering style, and she's definitely got the power, sometimes lacking in the height. Max back on now. He's located that zone on the left of rat. Michael struggling on men's 4. Max off on men's 1. But he's got the zone, Max, on men's 1. Jenny back in.
Yeah, in the background there, Hamish hits it again. Can he decide on a technique this time? He's still slipping off that foothold. Really not happy up there on that foot. It looks like he's going to try and jump out right. Interesting method. A lot of climbers just much happier going up to the zone with using the big feet.
Yeah, he's obsessed with that little foothold, but just sapping so much energy trying to stand on there.
Pippa Watkin really firing towards that zone hold. Not finding control at all.
It's a great effort by Pippa getting into this semi-final. Very young, a lot of experience for her. A lot of good experience climb with some very good climbers.
You see Jenny really sat on that left heel at the starting position.
He's stuck, someone poke him with a stick. Oh no, he's stuck. Oh no.
Still to see a zone, I think, on that boulder up to now. Jenny close again. Max back on the left-hand side of the wall, boulder number 1. Let's see if we can get a top this time, Max. Come on. Looking a bit better. His body position should suit him quite well. He's a short climber. Oh, that's a shame. Lost that left foot.
Yeah, he was looking really good there for a second as Billy Rydell's tied himself in knots here a little bit, but he's looking strong on men's number 3. Could we see a top here from Billy? Big move now. Does hit it and hits it well. This men's number 3 looking like it's getting a few tops now, even though it's savagely powerful. Looks like you're going to need this one to progress into a finals position. Oh, just slips.
Great for the finishing hold. I'm not too sure that's the best method when you're a bit tired there, whether you match in or just go for glory. But the problem is that top hold's not a jug, so you're not really going to be holding the swing. You've got to take it in control.
Yeah, I think he was totally gassed out at that point, and he was completely out of time, so he just had to go for it. That's hurt his score a lot, that for Billy Rydell, currently down in 9th position, only with that one zone hold to his name. Not the best weekend for him currently, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's one of them situations that can just change it completely. He was so close to topping that boulder, but didn't get it, so he's down in low, quite low 9th place. Back on them with the next rotation. See Gwyneth trying there.
The hair is blue because that's the same colour as the hole she's got in it.
Emily Phillips just doubling back there. Big smash up to the left, but ended up cartwheeling into the crowd. Mattia Pozzi on women's number 3.
Oh,
the big man.
Probably got Jan's name all over it, this type of boulder. Let's see what he does. We'll just not use the zone, okay?
Impressive.
This is not where you want to drop it, though, if you've not used the zone.
Well, that was a procession of how easy things can be made look by a top international climber. Just
reach down to the zone hole just to show that he can use it, yeah.
Oh, that was my favourite moment of the event so far. Previous climber unfortunately really struggled, and the big German just absolutely palmed it, made it look like a V0. That was his party piece, though. I don't think he'd be quite so happy on the men's number 4, but we'll see.
Well, I don't know. He's been climbing in the climbing works quite a lot the last few months. I think his slab style will have definitely improved from what we've seen in the past few seasons.
It's good to see Michaela's got a hair matching the holds this weekend.
Yeah, I know she got the memo. Sent that to her last week before she left the US.
Oh,
nice
easy.
And solid.
Yeah, these climbers, the stronger climbers now coming out, the ones with more experience, really not having too many issues with that slab.
She also nailed that little foot swap there just to stop the barn door.
Yeah, we saw that with Emily Phillips first, and yeah, Michaela just absolutely no issue at all, just shaking her head like, yeah, is that it? Let's move on. Gwyneth Utley, on the other hand, struggling a lot. Only seen one top on that women's number 3. Women's number 4, excuse me.
Looking good here. He's used to these holes, these axis holes, from Holland too.
We're going to see a top here. Men's number 1. Short work that. 1 minute 45 seconds to climb that. George Palmer on men's 2. Caught up with George in Spain over Christmas. He was routing Santa Linea out there with Jakob Schubert when he climbed Neanderthal. Competed in the very hard 9B there. Made it look like a walk in the park. It's super impressive. George is no weakling himself. Great to see him here in Sheffield at the CWIF. There's a lot of rolling around on the mat going on female 3 there.
Currently on climbers number 13 out of 20.
Good shot there. Emily Phillips just caught that hold on number 2.
Superb body tension there to hold that without the toe hook.
Yeah. Zone control. This is the move though, this flip. Didn't really stand up into that, just trying to turn the hand, and she's got to be up. There's no hold on that.
Yeah, it's really flat, that undercut, isn't it?
Yeah.
A flat undercut you can't just bosh into and hope to hold it. You've got to be right up on it. See that move a lot. Undercuts, the higher you are, the easier it becomes. Ryan Coley trying to get something out of this competition. Only a top on number 1 at the moment, and a zone on 3. Screams of frustration down there for him on men's number 4. Henry Phillips has got to repeat that hard move with 33 seconds left to try and find a quick top here.
Gwyneth just not quite hitting the middle of that volume zone. Female 3. George off the jump again. They're almost out of time. 10 seconds left. George is going for it. 1, 2. Not quite holding it.
Going to be really frustrated with that. I think competitor at his level, dyno like that, he's been training that sort of move all winter, no doubt. I think he's going to be really frustrated to be able to walk away from that with no successful method on the double dyno. Jo Neem just been announced on the left-hand side. She will start women's number 1 as we focus on Molly Thompson-Smith with her great top of number 2, starting number 3. Oh, so much strength in the right-hand side. To slowly and casually go up to that big pinch, power pinch on the left-hand side, really locking in the thumb. Let's see if we can see something here on women's number 3. Oh yes, Molly's looking strong now.
That's the first time we've seen somebody on the zone. They'll work out how to get the match now, trying to use a toe up with the left foot. Or is it just going to be basic? Come on, Molly.
Interesting, it looked like she was going for a little tap in and then a jump out to the right there. She's got to absolutely crush that pinch with the right hand.
Over on the left-hand side, we've got our first view of Jo Neem, starting a tour. Female 1. You know what we've got to do here, you've got to commit to that move, step up, get that pinch, and a quick foot swap to stop the barn door. Come on, Jo. Oh, I didn't really quite stand up to it, waved it a little bit.
Yeah, you can see a lot of these climbers have got the really stiff downturn shoes on for this slab, and you can see with that right foot. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, Gaz. I think a really soft shoe is going to help you a lot on that volume, and they're really trying to toe down and stand up.
Yeah, for sure. A soft shoe on there, she would look like she was really struggling to get any rubber and any contact on that volume. But that's what you see from some competitors. You see some people with like more than 1 pair of boots in these competitions. Depending on the style of the boulder, they'll just switch and change soft boot, stiff boot, depending on whether they're standing on some crimps or on some slopey volumes. Molly's back in on female 3. This is a quick replay of her previous go to the zone. Solid on that zone, and then you quite know what to do with the feet.
So it's back live. 2 minutes 35 remaining. Molly Thompson-Smith currently sitting in 2nd place. Has put herself in a good position, but there's a big stack of strong climbers about to come out. She's going to need to find something here, Molly. I think she has been up to the zone hold successfully a couple of times.
She's got plenty of time. It's not the problem. Caught that, now she needs to decide a little bit faster what to do here.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's an interesting option.
That's the route climbers option, feet first here from Molly. This could work actually. Crowd really gets behind her to support this effort. Superb thinking outside the box here for Molly. She does manage to shuffle the hands, but I think it's the left hand on the underside that would need to get all the way around. Asked for the brush. I think she's keen on that method. Jo Neem is still struggling on the slab a little bit. See what she can make of it this time. Hamish MacArthur there, we just saw exploding off of the top move there. That was nearly a top for him.
Very good effort there. Very close. Jo Neem, she managed to hold that finishing hold for a moment, but doesn't do the foot swap. I don't know if she's seen that method. More of a natural thing to do, but just trying to hold that hold, focus on that rather than actually just allowing the body to do what it needs to do. Molly back on.
All eyes on Molly really at the moment in the crowd. They want to see this special method feat first once again. The amount of strength she has to use to get through that first move is insane.
That's wide, that pinch on that left hand for her, isn't it? See her crawl her fingers around it, into the zone once again. Let's see what she does this time. For a left toe hook maybe.
She is thinking though, Gaz, you can see that. She tried a method, that's the third method she's tried. Asked for a brush with no top on women's number one. She is wise to give this one more go, I think. Jo Neem looked like she was in there for a second, but didn't get that foot swap, like you say.
Molly's going to have to move quickly if she wants another go on this. Only 20 seconds left. Hamish on the right hand side, Molly on the left hand side.
Molly's going to run out of time here, I think, unfortunately. Left it a little bit too late. Stays in second position with just one top and that 3 zones at the moment. Will it be enough? Has she got one more boulder still to do? 2 tops in this hard tour. I don't know, Gaz, I reckon that might just get you in.
And yeah, all down to 1 top, possibly in the women as well. But I think we're going to see that in the second half of the semi-final. We're going to see some real crushers come out, and we'll start seeing some tops for the ladies, I think.
What's interesting with Molly not doing women's number one is you can't win the semi-final round by doing or not doing women's number one, but you can certainly go a long way to not getting yourself into the final. And that's going to be really interesting to see if that slab comes back to haunt her.
I think she'll be... I think we'll see a top from her on men's 4, on female 4. That's my prediction. I think she'll be a bit stronger on that boulder. It's more her style. Jan over on the right-hand side.
Looks like no matter how much training you do, you just bow out. I think he just called it a day after 1 minute there. Is that right? That's what it looked like he was doing. We took one look at it and no thanks. Don't need to do that. I'm already through.
Need to save my skin.
Be interesting to see if he bothers going in for that one more time. Chloe Collier from Belgium. Good to see Chloe back, as always, at the CWIF. She seems to like this competition. Made many a final here.
Yeah, very rounded climber. Very good on all disciplines. Let's see what she makes of this volume. See, trying to get some contact there.
Oh, wow. That is some pinch strength right there.
That was strong on the pinch.
So her feet came off of the volume and still managed to hold it. That's the first method we've seen someone looking that strong on it. That was really impressive. Chloe Collier get ourselves off to a perfect start with a flash on women's number one. See it on the left hand side there, that's the current live standings. Top 6 go through to tonight's final starts at 6:15 local time.
Michaela, these 2, she knows what she's got to do. She's got to flip that left hand. Come on, Michaela. Yes, strong. And then let's see how she does with the top of this. A little bit taller than Molly, different method, 1 hand, 2 hand, yes. She'll be happy with that.
Michaela's just arrived. The world famous Michaela screams, that's what we want to see.
She's looking strong.
Looking really good, yeah. Recently moved over to the USA, obviously suited her nicely. Training a lot, come back for the CWIF. Apparently she came back to sell her car. That's why.
It's just an excuse.
Good excuse to come back to compete for the CWIF.
George getting close to that jump on men's 3 over on the right hand side. If he holds that, he'll probably do quite well on the top section. For the dynamic approach. 2 minutes left. Emily Phillips getting psyched for this super hard female number 3. It's the only boulder of the female tour we've not seen tops yet.
This is another look at the Michaela moment on top of women's number 2. Have some of that wall. New pair of boots, please. New panel required.
Emily Phillips
Love
back
that
on
passion.
board. Female 3. Close to getting that zone. It's only a slopey pinch. George, boulder 4. Zone located.
What's really interesting, Gaz, is we're not seeing anything of Jan Hoyer, which I'm pretty sure is because he just walked off after maybe one go.
Yeah, I think he's pretty confident that he's got his 3
Oh,
tops.
you can see him, got his backpack on,
Yeah,
just
he's
cruising
like,
out of the building.
This is a slab. I'm out of here. I don't need to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that gives you a really good insight to his experience. He's already sitting there in number 1. He's looked down the list. He knows he's basically got no chance on it. Doesn't like the look of the boulder. Live to fight, hopefully, in the finals. We'll
And he
see. It's
knows
risky
that.
in some ways.
Yeah, a little bit of risky, but I think he's got enough experience to know that he's making the right choice. He's only going to waste skin on that right-hand side of the wall. And when it comes to the final this evening, that's what it's probably going to come down to. There's going to be 6 strong men in that final, and the one with the skin is possibly going to be the winner.
Yeah, it's one of those factors that gets talked about a lot, but it's so crucial. Getting through these rounds, 30 boulders yesterday, that's no easy tour. Getting through with enough fitness and enough skin left on the fingertips to be able to actually hold the holds, not sweat too much through the fingertips.
Yeah, we've seen George bowing out there on men's 3, I think. He's had a lot of goes on that little jump and lost a lot of skin. We'll get our first view there of Jim Pope, very popular chap in Sheffield nowadays, moved up from London to study in Sheffield.
Jim absolutely out for retribution 2019. Didn't do too well in the 2018. That actually ended up affecting his selection for the competing internationally that year, and he's been training like a mutant and looks dangerously strong right now, Jim Pope, and he really, really wants this. I think he wants to put on a show. He wants to win this.
Yeah, Mr. Biff, 2 years running. He's definitely got the guns. Strange start this for the ladies. Ladies number 4. Jump start.
Molly just figuring out if she can just flick into it or not. The mat's actually really soft there, which makes it quite hard to generate any momentum. Just go for the match and feet up. That's not the starting position until her right hand controls that right hand hold. I'm not actually 100% sure what other method people have used up to that moment, whether they just jumped it or not. Molly particularly short. I'm struggling just to find the starting position.
She's looking good on men's 2. For Tim Rosa from the Netherlands. Oh, opting to skip a hole, go straight to the top. He's a big lad.
Bags of power to spare there. Pushes
Strong
himself
showing.
straight into 4th. And a quick tip top from Jim Pope. I think this tour's really going to suit him. We were just saying that when we were observing the boulders. That men's number 1 should suit Jim really nicely. He fits into those gaps really nicely. Let's see if Molly's figured out how to get into a secure starting position. And Joe Neem, also from London, looking really good here. Yes, nice top from Joe. That's impressive.
Top from Joe there. Very impressive on that very physical boulder. For somebody that a couple of months ago basically couldn't jump anything. But she's put a lot of effort into that. Molly now moving really well, looking very solid. This is going to be the second top of female 4. That's a good finish for Molly.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 tops in the end then for Molly Thompson-Smith. She does move herself into a provisional 1st position. I think it might be enough, but it's going to be close, I think. I think 3 tops will definitely guarantee you a position in the finals. Boulder number 1, 2 and 4. Anything more than that, you'll definitely be through with 4 tops, but Molly has got a nervous wait now, I reckon.
Yeah, this is interesting because we've got Michaela Tracy with 2 boulders to go. She's already topped 2 boulders in 2 goes each, and we've got a strong field behind her. We've got Hannah Slaney,
Yeah,
Stasha
Slaney on the wall right now.
Elena Wolf, Melissa Lenev, and top qualifier Eva Maria still to come. So we've got a lot of climbers to come yet.
apparently the people who've got the pizza.
Yeah, I think Molly's going to be a bit disappointed with not doing number 1 this slab that we see the youth world champion Hannah Slaney on at the moment, also British champion. Slightly taller climber. Let's see if she can put any weight down through that right foot. Same issue, not really getting underneath that enough. Holly Tutil, who did do really well on women's number 1s, flashed it. Let's see what she can make a 3.
Let's commit to this move to the zone. Yeah, that was a good effort. Hit the pinch, hit the thumb. Just took a little bit too long to do the move. Next time maybe a little bit faster. She'll hold the zone. 1 minute 20 seconds remaining. Let's see, very experienced competitor and judge Gavin Simmons brushing that green boulder. Quick replay, Joe Neem topping out. Very strong on that boulder too. Good result there.
This is Molly Thompson-Smith, replay of her on women's number 4. Looking so powerful at the moment, Molly. Really not struggling with more overhanging boulders. Really good now on men's 4. This is one of the best bits of progress we've seen on that boulder at all. That's the method matching there, hitting the egg out on the right. Good progress. Maybe the door's been opened.
That's the highest we've seen yet. He's one of the taller climbers though as well, Hamish, isn't he?
Hannah Slaney needs to find something here, I think. 25 seconds left. Will she have enough time? Just enough time, it looks like. She's going to pull on for another go.
Holly down on the mat. Not enough time for another go. Hamish, it's the last boulder. Possibly his last attempt. Close. That's good progress there. It's definitely possible, that boulder.
So if you have just been out and you're joining us, this is the RAB CWIF 2019 semi-final round. We're around 2/3 of the way through this morning's qualification to get through to the final. 20 climbers are coming through to get just one of 6 places in tonight's finals. That's the results as they stand on the left-hand side. Each climber has 5 minutes to climb each of the 4 boulders with 5 minutes rest in between. And it's getting quite exciting in here as to who gets one of those 6 positions. Could it be this lady, Emily Phillips, who looks dangerously strong on those pinches right now and finds an incredible top for Emily? Wow. Where did that come from?
30 seconds gone, Emily's going home. That's done. Topped. Hopefully she will see her in the final.
Yeah, she's going to be up there with Molly, just nervously waiting now. I think a lot of strong climbers, as we just said a minute ago, still to come. Will it be enough?
Men's number 2 there on the blue boulder. We can see the old man Dave Barron's lining it up. He's already got 1 flash under his belt. Hopefully we can see him up this blue boulder as well. Michaela, women's 2. She's the easiest one to spot on this tour, isn't she, with the blue hair?
One of the superstars in the women's competition then, Stasha Gale, European champion, multiple times podium winner in the IFSC boulder circuit. Surely no mistakes on the slab. She's absolutely amazing at climbing on slabs.
And climbing most things in general.
Generally just
also
climbing.
routes as well.
Yeah.
Aaron's opting for the right, left, right on that jump. Not quite making it yet.
Stash is going to be one of those climbers who would be very surprised if she doesn't find a podium here. She was 4th last year, looking to better that at least with a 3rd. Chloe Collier also having a good turn here. Currently setting in 6th position, but she's only on boulder number 2. Absolutely parfing this boulder number 2 at the moment. Top's coming thick and fast now. And these tops are really endangering Molly Thompson-Smith and Emily Phillips at the top of the pack. Every time someone finds a top, pushes them further down.
We're going to see a top here on the 3rd boulder. No, just falling off the finishing hold there for Lavana Lara.
He also lives in a windmill, and his favourite cheese is
Here we go, first view. Super strong Hayden Roberts fighting with that men's 1. Michaela Tracy back on ladies 3. Zone solid. That was the. She's like, yeah, I think I know the method now.
She is enjoying herself out there.
She loves this.
How can you climb that hard and enjoy yourself that much? It's brilliant.
Great view down on this men's 2. Dave Barron's 1-2, trying to go a little bit slower there.
Yeah, that
managed to engage the thumb on that pinch on the right hand side when he catches it.
Yeah, I was going to say that first volume is quite deceptive. Obviously it's big, but it looks relatively positive, but it's actually quite hard to hold on to it when you're going with that much speed. See Dave really trying to slow it down. So Aidan Roberts is in a world of hurt here at the moment at the bottom of this. We would have thought this would be right up his street, but so many times Aidan Roberts has showed promise, and then when it comes to the big occasion, not quite managed to find his form, unfortunately, find what he's capable of.
Yeah, I'd really like Aidan to get into the swing of things for this semi-final. He's such a strong climber, as he demonstrated by going to Rocklands and basically just climbing everything. Destroyed the place.
Michaela Tracy then, can we see a top on women's number 3? I think that's the classic nerves when she knows that she can do the move there and just forgotten about the difficulty is at the bottom. See that a lot in competition climbing. Dave, yeah, like you think, he's not quite finding the pinch on that one round the corner.
Yeah, I think you've got to find that pinch with the right hand, just get some more control at the hold. Aidan back on men's 1. Come on, Aidan, I want to see you to the top.
It's your tip to win here, Gaz.
I know. Yeah, there's plenty of time. Yeah, he'll cruise that slab on the right hand side. I hope.
If you go over there and tell him how to do it, maybe. Change all the little screw-ons for jugs.
I've got faith.
Michaela Tracy then on women's number 3. This is it really, this is probably the final good go. But surprisingly, she drops out of it.
That's the top on men's 3 by Van Lara from the Netherlands. We'll be happy with that. Moves up into 4th place there. Aidan still struggling with that men's 1. I'm really surprised at that. Shoulders might not be working yet, not powered up.
There's some pretty big shoulders, maybe they take a bit of time to power up.
Yeah, that's a pair of weapons carried around on those arms.
Pretty hectic out there on the mats at the moment. That's a lot of bodies floating around, getting into position. They all know what's going on, luckily. And very good to welcome Sean McCall into the competition, one of the biggest superstars on the circuit. Good to see Sean back at the CWIF, previous winner. See what he can make of this tour.
Yeah, and out for the ladies, we've got Elena Wolf from Germany. First time we've seen her. Anna Slaney's in on ladies 2 quite quick now. So she makes this little flick and toe catch. Trying to see if she can find a way to cheat it. Only been on this boulder for about 20 seconds, a bit too long, and just waves at the hold. I think you've just got to commit to this jump straight away.
Holly Tutu high up on there, men's number 4. Jim Pope, you can see in the background getting a lot of local support. People want to see him through to the finals here. A million miles away from that at the moment, moving way too fast.
Yeah, coming out from the wall a bit too much on that swing. These Dutch guys are looking really good on this men's 3. We're going to have 3 Dutch to the top of this boulder, it looks like we are. Just going to get the match.
These guys are actually making this boulder later on in the competition look a lot easier than Kazanov was. Kazanov's almost had too much power. Big support in the arena for Jim Pope at the moment. Hopefully we can catch a view of him. There he is. He's stuck the jump. Let's see if he can go to the top here.
Set into the zone. That's the fat pinch. Come on, Jim. Crowd's really got behind him now. Now that nobody's fallen off this top move. Let's hope he can do it. This is big spans for little Jim. Check out those arms. Come on, Jim.
Jim Pope looking so fit at the moment. Just the little finger drops off on the right hand. Does he get the match? He does. Awesome work. Jim Pope looking really good here. He was one of our tips for a position in the finals. He is currently in 6th position. That is a final position as it stands with 2 tops, but a lot of climbers currently with 3 tops, and it looks like it's going to be the number of attempts it took you to get those 3 tops that really counts,
yeah,
unless you can find a 4th.
And obviously we've still got 3 very strong climbers. We've got Sean McCall out on the mat now on block 1, struggling a little bit. We've got William Bosey and top qualifier Nathan Phillips. Nathan and William absolutely destroyed the qualification tour yesterday, so I think we're going to see some big sense from those guys.
Interesting at the moment with half his time gone, more than Sean McCall. Currently hands on hips, staring at men's number 1, not finding anything out at the start of that. We saw that a minute ago with Aidan Roberts. Do you wonder if that boulder is conditions have changed at all, or there's just these later climbers starting to struggle?
Yeah, it's an interesting boulder, that number 1, because it's been quite, random who's got up it. Some of the early climbers got to the top very quickly. We thought it was quite an easy boulder, and then we're seeing some of the stronger climbers just not get off the ground on it.
See the men's field results on the left-hand side there. Let's just go back to that in a minute as we look at Jim Pope. Just couldn't decide which hand to go with. We've seen both methods used, left hand and right hand. You see the little finger just dropped off there. It's actually near the bolt hole. Secures a nice match in the end. That's really good for Jim, considering one of the favourites in the British team, Dave Barons, couldn't do that boulder just before him. So Jim is looking as good as people were predicting this weekend.
Sean McCall still on the mat there, still looking a little bit frustrated. Joni getting a little bit angry with that flip. She's done the first move on that female 3.
1 minute to go.
Calls back on.
That's what Sean got for us. A lot of pressure on Sean McCall here, one of the superstars of the event. What sort of form is he in?
This is looking a little bit better. Doubling into those 2 undercuts, that's interesting. See what he does for this last move.
Has he seen it?
Yes.
Yes.
Come on.
Big stretch, so overstretched there. Can he get the match? He's really going to struggle with his reach.
Get his hand underneath his wrist there. Yeah, he's got it as he nods his head.
He knows. That was quite interesting. I'm not sure if I've seen that before. You've got the hold secure, but you've got to lift your arm very slightly to squeeze the other one underneath it.
He was so stretched on that move, but he's got the top, so that'll settle his nerves a little bit.
On the far right-hand side, with 4 seconds left, Max Milne, Max the Future, finds the top.
That's the first top of that boulder. That's an amazing effort from Max Milne.
In the background, we saw it with just a few seconds left. It proves that men's number 4 is possible. Did Jan Hoyer make the right decision by walking off after just a couple of attempts?
That's
We will
a shame
see.
for Max.
Max Milne only top for him.
Yeah,
possibly the
top
hardest
for him,
boulder.
last one. Could have been the hardest boulder. Could be the one that is the only one to top it. It's a shame he didn't get something else earlier on in the semi-final. So all changed now. William Bosey out for Great Britain on men's 1.
I bet she's got a question there, right? I'm not looking at it.
Stasha Gale, Chloe Collier, celebrities are out now. Stasha looked quite comfortable with that position, knew the technique but didn't quite find the toe. Will Bosey then, Britain's great hope for an Olympic potential position. 2020 looking really, really good here. Just cruising around. No issues for him in terms of reaching. Oh, he just slipped there. His left foot slipped and somehow he stayed on. Showed his immense crimp power.
Yeah, Bosey's looking very strong, I think, nowadays. This last few months, his training trip to the US. Dave Barons on men's 3, top.
Dave Barons moves into a potential finals position in 6th. So let's see, with 2 tops, 2 flashes, he is in quite a good position, but he's going to have to find something, I think, on the slab on the end. Pressure's on for Dave Barons.
I think if he finds a bit of magic on that last boulder, gets it a flash, he's in with a very, very good chance.
Melissa Leneve out of retirement from competition climbing. Retired a few years ago from the French national team setup. Loves competing at the QWIF though, always great to see her. Always puts on a good show.
Yeah, with such a busy comp season nowadays, there's a lot of events like the QWIF, and she does rock up at a few just to enjoy it. Loves competing still. Just over the World Cup affair. Too much work.
Yeah, retired in 2016 after multiple World Cup podiums. Was a very familiar face in the finals. As is that lady Stasha.
Struggling on that ladies too. We've seen that topped quite a few times now.
Yeah, 4 tops on that one already.
I expect her to have doing well on that. We're only a minute and a half though into this rotation, so she's got plenty of time yet. Mel back on. Female 1. It's a bit slower for this move.
Such a frustrating boulder. It's really a one-move boulder. It's, you know, it's just a walk to a really awkward move to finish.
Walking into a fall.
Yeah, it does seem to be getting a result. Nevertheless, Stasha just dragging a knee bar actually underneath that volume to get enough momentum to be able to jump up. Just dragging the right knee. Have a look at that next time she pulls on. Quite interesting. Kayla then currently sitting in first position. Would do really well to secure a top here on number 4, just to really cement her position in the finals.
It's a bit better from Michaela. Zone. Most of the other ladies have been going for the match at this point, just to steady the body.
Not holding that as a pinch either, holding it as a sloper, not using the thumbs underneath at all. That's interesting. Melissa still struggling. Tracy, after 2 early tops, struggling on 3 and 4 now. 1 minute 15 left.
Aidan lines up again, men's 2. Seen him do too well on this boulder either yet. So we'll be a little bit frustrated with the start of his semi-final round.
No momentum there at the moment, around the corner, really trying to go slowly. All of a sudden, people peeling off all over the place. Some of the bigger name climbers just struggling towards the end of the semi-final round here. Could be a few upsets on the cards here.
Still quite wide open, like we've been discussing, for the places into the semi-final. A couple of tops and you're right up there very quickly.
Yeah, Melissa Minerva needs to get up there pretty quickly as well with 30 seconds left. It goes back to Michaela. Let's have a look what method she uses on the hands this time. She with the right hand really holding it as a sloper there, not pinching at all. We saw success from Molly with the double pinches.
Can't believe she's not putting that thumb on and getting that
open-handed.
pinch.
Interesting.
Not really going to work, not unless she's super strong.
Stasha Gay walking away, very frustrated from women's number 2. And Chloe Collier equally can't get off the ground on women's number 3. The extremely hard women's tour continues. No tops so far on that boulder number 3, with just a couple of climbers still left to go. Tops on all of the other boulders. All boulders have been topped apart from that women's number 3. One top of men's number 4.
Quick replay. Quick look back at Sean's problem here. Gets the right hand into the slot, but he's so stretched and so low. We've struggled to get that match. Dave Barron's easily topping boulder number 3. Melissa Leneve back on that heartbreak last move of female 1.
Yeah, wasn't bringing that left foot in at all, as we saw success from some of the earlier females. Nathan Phillips then, one of the superstars in the British team setup, made the World Championships finals back in 2018. Great to see Nathan out there. The top qualifiers now are out. As Joe Neame is actually putting on a stellar performance here. Look at that right thumb, completely dialed in. Makes her be able to move through that next hole, but couldn't secure the next hole. Let's see what Nathan can do then.
Nathan's still on his flash go. Been hanging on this hole for 20 seconds. Goes to the arete, yeah, holds it. This is better.
Good local knowledge there from Nathan, knows what the texture's like on that arete. Completely different method. Thinking really well here, Nathan feeling this boulder out.
It's quite a hard move for the shorter climbers, so Sean double into it. Nathan's got the foot high.
Wow, that was amazing. Nathan managed to get his foot up without even using the hold. Jim Pope then currently in 6th place. Got to pull something out of the bag here.
Yeah, top on men's 3 for Jim would definitely put him in a very strong position for a final. Sean McCall, men's 2. This is something that you would think is right up his street.
Definitely.
He's obviously not managed to flash it. Let's see how this goes. Solid through that jump then that time.
Really impressive power there. Just the front 3 fingers on the right hold, holding the swing.
We're going to see a top now on this. Can't imagine he's going to drop it from here.
Just calculating his options here at the moment, puffing the cheeks a little bit, goes for the wrap with the right hand. Now just got to find some sort of hook, left or right, it should work. Gets the top, nicely done from McCall, jumps up the leaderboard from outside of the top 10 into the top 8. 2 tops so far. Another 2 boulders still to go for him. Great round so far. Boulders pretty much spot on. This women's free currently causing a lot of problems. No tops on that, but you've always got to have that one boulder that just separates the strong from the really strong. A couple of zones on it so far from Molly and Michaela. Not much more than that though.
Nathan back on boulder number 1. He struggled with the reach, I think, to get into that zone hold. I think once he gets in there, then he'll probably be okay on the finish. Struggling to get through this section. Some of the earlier climbers were just cruising through this. Come on, Nathan. It's a little bit better. I think he's thinking about making a little jump into the hold, lining it up. That's a little bit better. Got the zone. Now this is the bit that should fit Nathan's body size. Got that right toe in. Reaches round. One hand. Two hands. Yes, that's a good start now.
Yeah, no issues in the end there for Nathan. Had to put in quite a lot of work there. He used 4 out of his 5 minutes to get number 1 done, but importantly finds the top. Ellen Wolf here. In Germany, women's number 2, just foot slips on the left a little bit there. Just put power through these top pinches. And finds the top by the looks of it, make no mistakes there. Stasha Gayo is certainly going to be one who's not going to be too impressed hearing a top there, quick top for Ellen on number 2. Jim Pope falling off men's number 3 and walking away.
Yeah, he walks away, 30 seconds left on the clock. Joe Neem's back onto this pinch. This is... can't quite get the match there. Jim Pope's gone home. Quick rest, and he'll be back for that men's 4. Brushes are in action, getting those holds clean. We're into our last couple of rotations now for this men's and women's semi-final at the CWIF 2019.
Stasha Gayo then, this is interesting. She moves on to women's number 3 that's seen no tops but currently sits down in 12th position. She was 4th here last year, so she's got to get something from these last couple of boulders. This is just a replay of Joe Neem, her best effort. Doesn't find a top for her. Sean McCall, look at the strength on that right hand, contact strength there, just to be able to bounce around on his front 3 fingers. Seen a number of tops on that one now. Still Jan Hoyer, Alex Kazanov and Alexei Rupsov holding the top 3 spots in the women. Michaela Tracy, Molly Thompson-Smith and Emily Phillips, the top 3 in the women's.
A little bit of campus action going on. Men's 3 for Aidan Roberts. Nice to see him get to a top here. Come on, Aidan. Big go again. It's a hard move, that one. Mel on ladies 2 there, trying to engage that left toe hook, which doesn't really seem to exist.
I think if Chloe Collier tops this women's number 4, she's pretty much guaranteed a position in the final. Looks like she will. We'll be seeing her later on. Remember, guys, the final 6:15 local time tonight.
That's the first lady to top 3 boulders. Straight to the top of the leaderboard. Flash on that number 4. That's pretty impressive. Will Bosey there nails the jump.
He's going so well at the moment. You mentioned it earlier, Gaz, the amount of training he's putting in at the moment. A lot of support for him out there at the moment. Obviously an awesome lead and speed climber. Looks like his bouldering game is top notch at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's great to see him really looking strong nowadays. He's predominantly been known as a lead climber, but he's starting to perform really well in the bouldering.
And not only that, he's a speed climber to go along with it. This man's got it all, and that's what we want going into the Olympics Tokyo. Melissa Lenev, on the other hand, has got to find this flip now that she's just fallen off this move previously. Trying to use something on the left foot there. Nothing really there for that. And Stasha, 2 minutes 40 left, struggling on this women's number 3. Will we see a top? What do you reckon, Gaz? Women's number 3. Anybody got the potential?
I think we're really struggling on the men's number 3. Melissa's not quite seeing what the action is and the technique is required on women's 2 either. I think we're going to struggle to see that unless she pulls something out of the bag finds the right method.
Dave Barron's in 7th, needs something special here to see if he can get through to another CWIF final. He's been so many successes over the years here at this competition, but currently outside of the top 6. He is good on this style, but it's only been topped once.
But we do know it's possible. Barron's the old man of the game out here. But super
So
experienced.
tenuous.
It's like I don't want to say anything to put him off. Oh, come on, Dave.
With that zone, he does move into a potential final position. Getting tight now. It's going to come down to the wire. Really great set of semi-finals boulders so far.
It's a pair of very frustrated female climbers there on female 2, female 3. Stasha really struggling on this semi-final tour.
Especially if you consider how many medals they've got between them back home in the trophy cabinets. Rightly frustrated.
Dave Barron's back on men's 4. Located the zone, like Michael said. Pushed him up into 6th place. With a Bosey coming, big guns behind him. It'll be hard to keep hold of that 6th place, so he does need a top here. Good progress here.
A lot of support here for Dave with 30 seconds remaining. He's going to need this, really. He's
Come
looking
on.
good, though. Ah, just as we say that, the frustration, he knows that that's key. Interestingly, Melissa and Stash are walking away. CWIF is taking some scalps here.
Yeah, they're going to have to turn it on in their second half of the semi-final. Got to get another top, certainly, for Stasha to make it into the final.
If she can find a quick top, you would have thought that might just get her in. Might be 2 tops in a few number of attempts within a 3rd zone. It's going to be tight. This is Bosey back again. Britain's great hope for the Olympic selection. Absolutely cruising. This is a replay of one of Melissa's best efforts. Really nice little toe catch move there. And this, unfortunately, was potentially the end of Dave Barron's CWIF 2019.
Yeah, he looked really frustrated there. It's a shame. Back in the action again, Jim Pope.
Sitting in 7th, just behind Dave Barron's. Has the potential to knock him out, probably with a zone.
Jim's no punter when it comes to this style of climbing either.
That is the zone secured. I think the judge will probably give him that. That's definitely using it.
Moves up there, moves up the score.
Barron's is out.
Live scoring, Barron's is out, like you say. Jim's into the 6th place. Can he cement this position with a top? He really does need to get a top here.
Yeah, with Bosey and McCall right behind him, and Nathan. Realistically, if Jim wants to be in the final tonight, he's got to find a top here. That, unless those 3 characters of the game don't find anything at all, which would be very surprising, Jim Pope will be out if he doesn't find a top here.
No flash on boulder 3 for Sean McCall. He's on the mat, having a look what to do.
Slaney currently not really troubling the scorers in the top 10. Looking good on women's number 4, though. Nicely done.
Let's see what difference that makes. So jump up the ranking a little bit there. Straight into 8th place. That's a pretty good performance by Slaney, but I don't think she'll be really happy with that. Not really been her tour.
She won yesterday's qualification round. Struggling a little bit at the start of women's 2. Nathan sticks the rhino. Come on, Nathan.
The unclimbed women's 3.
Nathan's looking good on men's number 2. See tops coming on this one thick and fast now, but a lot of attempts being used, which could be crucial here. Does look like it's going to come down to a free top in the number of attempts competition to see if you get through to the finals. Nathan looking a bit nervous, just lining up that top hold.
One hand. Come on, Nathan.
Just deciding which way to hook to finish, but just go straight front on. Good body tension. Keeping the toes low on that jug. Nathan Phillips is getting it done there.
2 blocks in the bag for Nathan there. That's good. Bosey on 2 as well with Sean McCall on boulder number 3. Opting to go with one hand first, not the double. Looking good though. Into the zone. Yeah, still are managing to maintain it. Adjust that right hand, get the heel.
Only just held on to that, Sean McCall. Currently in 8th, this would be good for him. Get him into the free top club. Hits it with 1. Oh yes. Nicely done. Finds a top, needed that. He joins the free top club and moves up into 5th position.
That could be enough.
Puts him up into 5th place.
It's getting really tight here at the top. The top 4 spots have all got 3 tops and 4 zones. Sean McCall will most likely find a zone on number 4. That will put him up there as well. It's coming down to the number of attempts. Jim Pope then with 50 seconds left needs to get a top here. Put himself into the free top club. So many attempts used, though it probably still might not be enough. Too much action coming too quick and fast to do the maths on that one just now. We'll just concentrate on Jim. Just fingernailing the underside of that volume. I'm pretty sure that's the end of his quiff, unfortunately, as well.
24 seconds left on the clock.
Ava from Austrian setup struggling. Women's number 2, starting to see a number of athletes now starting to struggle on that one.
Jim back on, last chance.
Last chance for Loon, he's going for it. All or nothing now. Unfortunately, it's nothing. Shake of the head for Pope, no finals for him. No top for Ellen or for Eva as well. Moving down the list now, not too many competitors left on these boulders. Will Bosey, penultimate climber in the men's competition, to tackle men's number 3.
Yeah, this will be pushing Macaulay. Bosey flashes this onto the edge of that final. Here we are in the replay. And Slaney topping number 4. McCall on his 3rd boulder on the top, no problem. Puts him in the final rankings currently. Back live again. Bosey about to pull on. He's not tried this boulder yet. Let's see how he does. Don't want to hang around on this first move too long. Goes for the smash. Oh, easy. Bonus.
Interesting method here from Bosey.
Going.
Somehow ended up with his right hand on that hold. God knows what he's thinking there.
All around the houses, yeah, he needs to get that zone with the left hand and go again with the left hand, and then he'll be in. But he was very slow on the start of that. He spent almost a minute on the boulder, which is pretty ridiculous when he was only 3 moves into it.
Interestingly, Stash has done herself something really important there by flashing women's number 4, so she gets 2 tops, 3 zones. Importantly, 2 tops in the 2 attempts. So she sits in 4th, knocking Emily Phillips lower down into the danger zone.
Aidan Roberts now on his last boulder. Right hand side on men's 4. We've only seen 1 top on this. It would be really nice to see somebody else to the top of it.
Really, in the men's competition, we say Gaz with Jan Hoyen, Kazanov and Lexi Ripsoff, no real surprises there. At the top, the 3 most on form and stronger athletes going off their results over the last few years, really sitting in the top 3 spots.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see them there with the change in the style from the qualification to the real competition style here. That's an interesting method, dropping that right hand down early for Mel. Works well. Solid into the zone.
Is there a chance to see a top on women's number 3? This would be brilliant if it is. This is the move though. This is the section it's going to come down to. This is looking really good here. Melissa Lenev, first climber to secure that position. Just a couple more moves on this volume. Superb support here for Melissa Lenev in the semi-final round of the CWIF. Big fight on her hands here for Melissa. She's trying to find a spot
going mental behind her
final.
Here. One hand. Crowd are going to go mad here. Yeah, she's really happy with that. First top of that women's 3. Will Bosley 1 hand, 2 hand top on boulder 3 for him as well.
Melissa Lenev does move into 10th position. The only top on women's number 3, but probably not enough to get through unless you find something really quick on the 4th. It's going to come down to the number of attempts to those tops. She could do it though. 6th position currently in 5 attempts.
Yeah, if she gets a flash on the last boulder.
Yeah, she's got zones in hand there as well with that 3rd. Melissa Lenev, I reckon she could be in with a shout here.
Aidan Roberts on the mat. Lonely man is on his own now. All eyes on Aidan. Applies a little bit of liquid chalk. Still got a minute left. Plenty of time to climb this boulder. Not his cup of tea normally, but who knows.
In the men's competition, it's really coming down to making sure you got 3 tops, obviously, but then the number of attempts, assuming you get a zone on the 4th as well. This is where the new rule ordering of zones really comes into its own. The priority of getting zones over attempts to tops, because if you get the 4 zones and those 3 tops, guarantee yourself a place in the finals at the moment.
Such a hard boulder, that number 4. Only seen 1 top in this whole semi-final of 20 climbers. And we're down to the last 2 men.
And it's McCall who's in the drop zone at the moment. He should be okay. It's Nathan Phillips who's down there in 10th, who could potentially upset the apple cart there.
That's it, time's up. Sean McCall's out for number 4. Nathan Phillips, number 3. Quick replay. Bosey crushing on number 3.
What a moment this was as well. Listen to Nev showing she's still got it. Only top on women's number 3. Absolutely awesome moment in the semi-final round.
I think with the strength that she's shown on that boulder, I think we're going to see a top for her on number 4 as well. Hopefully jumping her up the ranking into that final position.
Yes.
It's going to be really close in both categories here now, actually.
Nathan Phillips
waiting and being very nervous to see how many attempts it takes for these climbs to get done now. Nathan's starting to fight there. He's got his fingers dialed into the screw hole on the right hand side there, but looks really strong.
Yeah, he got the zone, came back down and then went big for the hold. He's found and located that other screw hole. 1 hand on the top. A little rotation, he's got his foot back on. The match, yes.
That's his 3 tops in the bag. A flash as well, which does knock Sean McCall down into 7th. He's 1 spot outside of the finals at the moment. Sean McCall could go from not being in the final to leading the leaderboard here in first if he finds a top on the slab.
Very critical for McCall on this last boulder.
This is it then for Sean. We move our attention over to him.
He's got 3 minutes to climb it. He's only had 1 ascent in this semi-final.
He's going to know exactly what's going on. Sean's one of the most intelligent guys on the scene in terms of knowing exactly what he needs to do. Just trying to find that little jib for the left foot. It's just like a little spike underneath there. 3 attempts on number 1 is currently hurting Sean's positioning. It's the zone though.
Yeah, that's jumped him up to 3rd place.
Nicely done. Showing how important the zones are these days. Doesn't look like once again. I don't think many climbers are really finding anything on that. But it looks like we'll see Sean through to the finals later on. Just had to wobble across that bottom section to find a zone.
Yeah, that's it. It all flips over to put Tim Rosa in the hot seat now, with Bosey and Phillips still to climb on the last boulder. We can assume that they're going to get the bonus on that boulder, and hopefully it'll be good to see a few more tops on there as well.
Still, the British representatives looking to go through to the final.
Even Maria Hammermuller then just trying to find something. The top spot qualifier from yesterday's qualification round.
Just cruising through that start position and really struggling with that wide pinch. Call back on. A lot easier this time into the zone.
Moving a bit too fast there, and he knows it.
He's trying to run up that vertical wall, and there's no footholds really or handholds to run up. Still another minute remaining though. Sean might find a little bit of magic for this number 4. Sean also applying the liquid chalk. Obviously they've done a lot of climbing, 4 boulders into the semi-final, 30 boulders in qualification yesterday. That skin's going to start to get really thin, and this boulder 4 really does come down to the friction of the hands on these very slopey blocks volumes. Last 30 seconds. Sean knows he needs to move relatively quick now, but it is a slow boulder to climb. He wants to get to the top. It's looking a little bit better for Sean.
Really
back on the mat.
Over there. Waves to the crowd. That's his semi-final done and dusted. Melissa Lenev then. This is important for her with the 1 top and the 3 zones at the moment. Quick top here. And put her up into the 2 top club. It's currently 2 tops in 2 attempts with 3 zones that gets you through.
Just brushing the boulder 4. We've got Willie and Bosey. Now we're going to see another top on this boulder number 4 for the men.
Just looking at scores, I don't think she can do it. 4 zones is the crucial element. I think it is okay. Let's see.
She needs the flash.
Needs to get it done, importantly. Get an attention on Melissa Lenev after a fantastic top of women's number 3. See what she can do then. Got to find something here. She's looking really strong overall here at the CWIF at the moment. Pinching that right hand. Oh, this is looking good. Surely a quick top for Melissa Lenev. Yes.
Flash top on boulder 4. Keeping an eye on the rankings now. This should jump her up into 4th place.
Shows how important it is to find zones, even if you don't find tops. One of the celebrities of the round, Melissa Lenev, gets herself into that 4th position and, importantly, into a final spot.
All eyes now at the Rab CWIF. Into the last boulder. Bosey working his way up that zone. Really cool to see another top on here. Utilising that left foot on that toe hook. Oh, just body comes away from the wall and you're off.
Yeah, it was a nice method there, actually, just using that left toe hook.
Still got quite a lot of time. He's got 3 minutes.
So, assuming Nathan Phillips can find the zone, that will put himself into the top 6 in the men's competition after Bosey. Bosey, if he walked back on the mats, just looked at the screen to his right, he could see that he's already gone through, he doesn't need to do any more. Tim Radu is probably going to miss out here, unfortunately for him, and what a finals lineup that would be. Jan Hoyer, Will Bosey, Alex Kazanoff, Sean McCoy, Alexei Rupsov and Nathan Phillips. Impressive indeed, and it shows No matter what happens, you just got to keep fighting throughout the round.
Yeah, and I think Tim will be a little bit frustrated with that. He was third here last year.
Well, and
he's just going to get nudged out of the final, I think.
Well, it's going to be because he didn't secure a zone on this fourth boulder.
Yeah,
and the
crucial.
Zone is crucial. He did so well on the earlier boulders. 2 tops and 2 flashes. That would be right up there. Top 3 if it wasn't down to the fact that he didn't secure a zone on the men's number 4. Progress is what it's all about these days, as well
Just
as
a little bit
tops.
of progress.
Yeah, attempts comes down the line in terms of the priority.
It's really cool watching Will climb nowadays. He's such a rounded climber on so many different styles. He really seems to be quite comfortable on power, on the crimps, and also looking quite good on this problem 4. A little bit of a wry smile there.
Yeah, I think the microphone just picked up. He's just saying, "Oh, I'm just sliding off that," which he'd probably be better off just packing up his bag and heading back to the hotel, I think.
Yeah, he needs to be careful here, losing a bit of skin on that left hand. At least his right hand will be okay. He's not used it yet on boulder 4.
Yeah, but this is where the potential lack of experience here. We saw Jan Hoyer touch these holds and then walk off. And Will Bosey doesn't need to do this, and he's sticking around for some reason. Has not really competed internationally on the boulder circuit that much. Has made lead World Cup finals back in Chamonix.
This is looking good this time.
Sticking at it. Will Bosey wants it. He's a true climber. He's going back in for another go. Asking for the brush, doesn't get it. 20 seconds, he's going on for another go. Not sure if the coach will be too impressed with this, but he's putting on a good show nonetheless. It's good to watch. Likes this one.
A bit quicker this time now. He's got 10 seconds left.
Will's absolutely dancing up these volumes.
Walking up it now.
5 seconds left. Not meant to be, but we will be seeing him later on. There's just one climber left in both the men's and the women's on the final climbs. Eva Maria Hammermüller from Austria. Currently outside of the top 10.
Nathan Phillips stepping in now to boulder number 4.
Yeah.
Still only 1 top on that boulder.
Nathan Phillips is outside of the top 6, so the pressure is on. Pretty surprised if he doesn't know that he needs a zone hold here.
Replay of Melissa just topping female 4. She was super strong on that boulder. She took a little bit of time to get into a stride in the semi-final. Finally made it. Bosey looking at his skin again. I'm surprised he kept going on that block.
Eva just not finding it at the moment really today in semi-final round 1. The qualification not meant to be for her in the semis at the moment. Remember guys, getting right to the end of this semi-final round. Still got time to get in touch. Hashtag CWIF 2019. Let us know whose performances you've enjoyed today already. Some good show out there as we prepare for tonight's big final here at the CWIF. Always a good one to watch, so do not miss it at 6:15 local time, UK time tonight.
Phillips started the right way this time, just on the right foot. Before he was on his left foot. Failed to do anything, but looks a little bit better now. Just needs to load it, bring that right hand up. Oh no, he's gone straight for the zone. He's held the zone.
Yeah, he's done what he needs to do. Tim unfortunately drops out. Nathan moves up into 3rd position.
7th to 3rd position with just locating that zone.
Pushing on anyway on this boulder. Again, he could just drop off the wall now, pack up. Eva Marie Hammermüller does get a nice little top to finish the round for her. Nice to go with a top. Puts herself into 9th, so she hasn't done enough. Our finalists have been confirmed now.
Yeah, Eva Marie there with 2 boulders. 9th place. We'll be a little bit disappointed about that, I think. Those middle 2 boulders eluding her. All eyes on Nathan Phillips now. Last climber out on the mat. He's secured the bonus that he needed. He's got himself into tonight's final. Wonder if he knows that. If he did, I think he'd probably be walking away.
Nathan Phillips, and can he walk his way into the second top of this boulder?
Literally walk his way into it.
It's just a bit of walking.
Not climbing this, is it? Back onto that long and very poor zone hold.
Again, Gaz, if you were in this position, you knew that you'd done enough to get through, would you just keep climbing because you're a climber, do it for climbing's sake, or would you just give up?
I think it's quite a hard decision actually at this point, because, you know, if you know you're in, then yeah, the sensible option is to sort of walk out there. But at the end of the day, as a climber, you still want to climb these things. This is why you do the sport. You want to get up these boulders. These are challenges, and that's what drives everyone to be here. And you know, Nathan's still plugging away. He wants to see a top. He wants to get to the top, and he wants to do it for the crowd at the end of the day. He's got plenty of time still. 1 minute 20 left in this semi-final. We are going to see him later on this evening. Obviously, it's not going to make his arms too tired here, but it's going to take a little bit of edge off his skin. Could be quite crucial later on.
I would say, guys, with 1 minute left overall, it's been a perfect semi-final round. Good boulders all round. A little bit tricky in occasions with men's number 4, women's number 3, but you've got to have that really. Route setters do like to ask that question of the climbers. Have one boulder that's super hard to see what the level is. But overall, a really good semi-final round.
Yeah, really interesting as well. Like, predominantly it's been 3 tops for finals, and then we've had the hard boulder only climbed by one person for the women and one person from the men.
And interestingly, there's been some heartbreaking moments as well, and some moments of real tension. Just we'll come back to that as we look at Nathan Phillips. He might be in for a quick top here with 22 seconds left. There's only one person so far top this, and Nathan Phillips looks like he could be in here. Oh, nicely done. That's why he sticks with it. Put himself up into the top spot. Nathan Phillips goes through from winning the qualification round to winning the semi-final round, and that does conclude our semi-finals here at the CWIF 2019. Overall, Gaz, just as we were saying, great round and looking forward towards finals.
Yeah, it was great. We're going to be very excited to see Nathan. He's going to grow in confidence, I think, with that top and 4 blocks. Solid work.
Here we go then. This is the scores as we go through then into the final round, the top 6, which will be competing tonight at 6:15. Top spot: Chloe Collier, Ellen Wolf from Germany, Michaela Tracy, Melissa Lenev, Molly Thompson-Smith and Stash Gayo. A couple of Brits narrowly missing out there. Emily Phillips, unfortunately, and Jo Neem further down. A couple of other surprises. You would have thought a bit more potentially from Holly Tutil. Unfortunately, she's not made it through. Eugenie Lee will be disappointed with that. A couple of tops in that category, but overall a really difficult semi-final round in the women's competition. By the form book, all in all, for the women. In the men's competition, that man who we just saw there, Nathan Phillips, goes through, the only climber to find 4 tops, and then a big selection of very strong international climbers after that. Jan Hoyer goes through in second. Will Bosey, one of Britain's best hopes for the overall Olympic next year, goes through in third. Alex Kazanov shows form once again in fourth. Sean McCall finds his way through with a quick zone on men's number 4, and Alexei Rupsov will finish off our top 6 in the men's competition. Slightly further down, lots of Brits down there with not many tops, unfortunately, and a couple of surprises, but good performances nonetheless. Tip of the hat to Max Milne for finding a top on men's number 4. But apart from that, all gone by the form book here for the semi-final round at the CWIF. We look forward to seeing you tonight, 6:15 local time. Do not miss it, and we'll catch you then. Have a great afternoon.
See you this evening.